turret than what I wanted to do. But we're finishing up the Tobukadachi. Starting with the switchblade and then going over to charge at or switch axe and charge blade. And the second blade, heavy bowgun, light bowgun, like heavy bowgun.
But, how are you feeling?
Okay.
Oh yeah, so I don't know, what the future of gaming looks like, but did you hear about over in the UK how their future of gaming is going to be looking like? So allegedly, a girl, not going to say names, just girl was playing a game, VR, and apparently a bunch of people walked up and raped her character in the game, and now the police there are investigating it as an actual, and the internet's having a field day with it because most people are like, take the fucking headset off. You don't like getting beaten in Call of Duty. You can close the game and go and play something else. Everybody's saying that. Why didn't you do that? And then the other half of the internet's sitting there like making memes of it. Like it shows literally the Halo, guy getting teabagged by another, player. He's just like, active footage of the crime. Shows I think it's Stone Cold Steve Austin being like arrested, like for a WWE thing, but it's like me being arrested after getting 25 kills in a Call of Duty match. I was just like, oh no, this is gonna be interesting. So, of course we, I had to start this one off a little weird, I know, but it's just like, damn, I didn't think that that's the thing that could happen. But yeah. Any comments? It is what? Oh, I know. It's more like staying in the reasonable of sitting there going like, okay, I get, she, this and that, but it's like one of those things of, again, you had the power to take something off. This would be like the equivalent of, anything else I would, but like, okay, she maybe, this, could have simply took off the headset and headphones and just walked away. I got no idea. That's the fucking hilarious part, is nobody on the internet has any clue what game she was playing. So there's that is just the weirdest thing I've heard so far. Yeah, and it's one of those things of I just don't know what to say for it. It's just so but like, oh. I'm not trying to demand. It's more like just like, as a gamer who, that joke, you know, you've done some things, you know, that joke maybe you know, teabagged on a guy when you killed him, whatever.
That's gaming etiquette.
Yeah, that's gaming etiquette. That is literally like an entire language barrier for gamers.
Teabag can either be the ultimate,
Teabagging in the middle of the field while you stare at him with a large 120mm cannon is a sign of peace. Please don't kill me. If you see it on top of a
yeah, you piss me off.
that is greatest disrespect to either to the guy or that guy's feeling the this guy here, you don't understand what he did to me. But I'm not gonna I got no full idea what Bully went down, just hearing that, you know, but like, you know, like a bunch of guys were so poorly doing this in this game. I was just like, okay, this sounds like or it's like, what VR like things where like everybody's hanging out in those groups with their online character thing. And I sit there and go, you can leave those. I swear to God, you can just bring open a menu, leave, and go to a different.
Depending on like the word that you use, it's like that had to be a dog thing. It's like, why are you even on the game?
Here it comes!
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you just like play. Hey, I found this thing. It looks cool. You actually have to be safety.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It,
if anybody
it's
doesn't know what it means, everybody thinks like the highest rating of games is like game rating. That is not true.
their games are rated A for adult.
Yes. A is the highest rating video game you can get, and they're not games you get in that spots.
Like, and if they do, they will tell you legitly everything of why, like in the sense of a quick summary, but not show you it. They'll just explain to you the reason why it's the content involved, the you know, going down the line of it. That's why it's
It's just like, you don't find okay, rated A games are not like games you stumble and stumble. That's what I'm getting at.
oh yeah, they're like,
You legit have to look for it.
you have to know that guy who knows a guy who knows that game. Like some of those games are legitly like in the joke, like you can look everywhere and you wouldn't even realize that's there, but then somebody just be like, oh, you mean this game? And they'll show it to you and you're just like, what the fuck?
Nothing personal, buddy.
Like, you know, you search, that joke, you searched Steam, you searched a few places and you're like, I couldn't find that, where'd you find it? And then they're gonna tell you a website that,
They're gonna tell you what's
Or-
like almost borderline dark web.
yeah,
Because like rated A games are not games you stumble on, but those games are games that stuff happens in that you have to understand what you're getting into. It's kind of like how can I put this? It's like when I say dark fantasy, guys, I'm not talking about like dark fantasy as in like Witcher dark fantasy.
Or
well, that would be considered
or Warhammer.
Yeah, like Warhammer will be grim fantasy, right? But that's not dark fantasy. When I say dark fantasy games, is like where humans can live their darkest fantasies.
Yeah, and so, but most of the gaming world, if not all people who have seen somebody play a video game, no, they're all sitting there basically going, why didn't you just turn off the console or take off the headset? This seems like a you problem,
No, I
like
feel
your
it could've been
fault.
avoided beforehand because like you
Yeah,
can't even do that in games that aren't A rated.
Yeah, but the thing is though is that like even if this was one of those games, if you don't like what you see as a gamer, you can take your headset off or turn it off. Why didn't you?
Yeah.
And that is the greatest purpose of asking. It's like, why didn't you? And for
Liked it, and you just want to complain afterwards.
because if so, this seems like a.
You went along with it at the beginning, and now you feel guilty that you went along with it.
Yeah, that's about it. It's like one of those. You're sitting there, it's like Jesus Christ. I can't say you're in the right, girl, because no, I'm a gamer, and I sit there and go, how? What? Like, well, I heard that. I assumed it was a joke, but then I looked at the year, like what time it is of the month, and I'm like, wait, we're nowhere near April, and far away from April 1st.
It's like there's
So-
a lot of jokes I can make with this, with me trying not to make the jokes.
But if you are, but he can't say it because of this. So if you are looking for it, go and look up some of the memes of this on the internet, and let me tell you, you as a gamer are going to love it, because people are literally putting up things of Halo, of a bunch of stuff.
And no, before we go in depth, because I'm going to cancel the conversation right here. Before we go in depth about anything, it's legit me going to state this. It's like, this is not me or Wyatt knocking the crime if it happened real life. Most of the crimes of this nature are not reported, even though they should be reported. And there is more detriment upon a female if this crime is committed than the actual perpetrator of the crime. I am not knocking the severity of the crime. I am knocking the severity of it not being severe because it's digital.
It's in literally a gaming, the term, the gaming world, the thing that is, I'd have to say, so new that nobody.
And you can bring up mental trauma of it, even if it's a video game, because fuck it. Okay, cool. But then Wyatt's thing isn't like you literally could have just walked away.
Like, hey, because that joke.
Closed app and walked off.
Yeah, that's what I'm meaning. Is you could have walked off. Hey, that joke. Have you not rage quit from a fucking video game before? So that's where I don't see this doing well, and in the sense of if they do try to go through with it, but alas, that's it's over there.
And honestly, cops, if you are like looking into that, first things first, look up what type of video game it was. If it was a dark fantasy A-rated game, just don't even bother. Okay, because like those games have been out since the 1980s. Don't even bother.
Like, it's just.
You off games that were made for that specific reason since the 1980s to modern day. I can list them off.
Yeah, and we're not weird, but
and there's always been a dark part of video games.
Guess what? There's that's thing that will always be a thing, and some people, you know, it's that joke of hey, to know that that's a thing, and but never to dab into it. Hey, that's one thing. Some people want that as a full experience, and for some of us, we're like, why?
Here's the thing. Again, with me stating something, it's like, would you rather it happen in a video game or than do it? That's also another standpoint.
But
Trust me.
yeah.
Again, I'm not going into details and on that. It's just.
This one's gonna hit hard!
Dude, to anybody who's calling you heartless, they'll be calling about 95% of the internet who's saying that this girl was a bit of an idiot and could have just backed out. Like, nobody is. A lot of people are not on her side because.
It's like, and if you wonder why you can call me heartless now,
See ya!
what's the name of my channel?
There's an obedient fella.
Please.
He got it. He got a win there. You know, but yeah. Oh god.
His name is Half-Heart. I don't mind playing the ball.
But yeah, it just holy crow. Didn't think in my time of being around on this planet Earth that right there would be a thing that I would hear in my time. You know, as a video gamer and as everything, that right there is one of those things where you're like, you look over and go, excuse me? What did you just say? Gosh.
Okay, let me just avoid this token access one more time. Like nothing ever happened because apparently nothing ever did. Hey, token access, you mind fucking off for a second, please? Get some few charges out of the way. You can have fun with yourself. Afterwards, just chill for 1 second, one go, please. And also, I want to grind the Tobukadashi a lot more than I want to. Just because I need the armor set also with the Tobukadashi. Also, what is another thing I wanted to state? Oh yeah,
Sweet.
So on other note, and I have to say on other note,
Be careful!
What's that?
I'm going
It's the
to,
end for you.
that was way better than I thought it was better. On other note, what I was going to say was,
Here it comes!
after waiting until I took it out
Yep. But hey, sorry for coming into the stream and that being the first thing, but like it was just the most interesting thing I've heard for a good chunk of time. Like, kind of maybe had that meme of wait, what?
My best pal.
But try to think here.
Are you? I'm going down here. Dog just ate the attack boy. Okay. I still died, but okay.
Okay, now I'm really angry.
Okay, now that I have a little bit of time, I'm planning on doing a discussion stream tonight. Or not tonight. Yeah, tonight, because it's Sunday right now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, tonight. Where it's gonna be a weird discussion stream because it's gonna have nothing to do with what game I'm streaming. It's gonna be for a different stream. The only thing is I don't have everything hooked up to stream the game that I want to stream. Not right now, at least. I have everything to do it. I just don't have the shit set up to do it. Where I'm going to do a weird thing where I'm going to explain this season of well, I guess you consider it this season of Escape from Tarkov.
You distracted!
And if you buy the lowest tier of Escape from Tarkov, how your gameplay will be at the beginning.
So you're doing an Escape from Tarkov kind of game playthrough.
But I'm not gonna
Of,
be
like-
playing it during the stream because I don't have my stuff hooked up to my computer properly right now. Man, I'm gonna be playing a game with you talking about the stuff that you get in this season for Escape from Tarkov on your account.
Is it different from the stuff that you got before?
A little bit, and also like some of the starter quests and with that, how you can do some of the starter quests, and which starter quests you should do,
Here comes the
and
pain!
which order to have like the best value in the order.
Understandable.
Still avoid as a new player,
It's getting weaker!
and how to customize a weapon early game using what you're allowed to have early. And I will do this in weird retrospects because I want to reset my account for Escape from Tarkov, guys,
Go!
because it wouldn't make sense for me to talk about it if my account was still where it's at right now for this season, because I put in a decent amount of time on this season already. And I got my stuff got up, so I guess I'm not really like not really want to explain. I don't want to explain how I would set up my shit. Because that won't help anyway. What I'm going to do though, is I'm going to reset. I normally play fair. So I get the AK off of it. I'm going to not want to play a reset or the basically you need a military gun.
Say goodbye!
It's NATO!
He's the cat!
Which starts with like an M4 technically. I'm gonna play them for one reason.
Nothing personal, buddy.
There's a set that I want to try to do, and I'm going to try to explain.
I had a completely different joke I was going to turn around and go, because you're American and you love policing the world.
But besides the point. Now, before I go any further on that, though, I will state this. The M4 you can put a scope on at the beginning of the bear, you cannot. You basically are stuck to using iron sights. You can't even put a dovetail sight on most of it because it doesn't set up properly for that. You can put a dovetail sight on the 9x9. Basically, the SMG that they start off with also. You can put a dovetail sight on them, but you're kind of like stuck with a few customization points for them. But their guns are better at the beginning, in my opinion. While even for you can put an attachment on in weird ways, but I'm not going to be using it for one of my maps that I'm going to be playing, which is one of the better beginning maps for people. And well, it's not the best map for beginners. It's the best map to learn how to play. And this is a map that you're going to get wrecked constantly on. Like, it's not even a joke. You're going to get wrecked constantly on this map. The only reason why I'm doing this map as like an explanation map for one of the maps you can start off with is if you're willing to lose a lot of gear
I'll be here if you need me.
just to learn how to do close quarter combat. And also how to work in dark areas of the map. Like early the game how to work in dark areas. Which I know is gonna sound weird, but there's a reason why.
And to everybody who's ever seen some Streets Tarkov or anything like that.
I'm not doing Streets of Tarkov.
Oh no, I'm just letting you know, like different maps, different things. Okay, yeah, remember people. A lot of sometimes streamers to YouTubers do a filter over their game that brightens it up, so that way you can see the game. I've seen actual game footage of it, and if you look this up, you're going to be looking at a lot dark. Like, it'll be one of those things where it's like that joke, like, I think I might, if I play the game, hey, depending on what my character's wearing and if, like, certain things, I might be able to do stealth, where it's like, I stood still, and I just have the guy pass by me, and it's that joke of, if he would have looked over.
When I start doing Escape from Tarkov streams with Wyatt, which will probably be later this year, I'm going to take Wyatt on a crash course, which I've already explained earlier, which I will take him on the maps I'm going to be talking about. One of them being an underground map where you're inside of a, basically an outcrop, like a storage outcrop, military outcrop kind of thing, like an abandoned factory type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty dark. All the corners are pretty dark. It's really hard to see throughout the whole map. There's a lot of nooks, crannies, and everything. It's one of the best maps to learn and get used to, because if you can get used to that map, you can corner sweep any room. You can like clear and search every room, no matter brightness or anything.
But like, well, have you ever had a moment in the game where like you held still, didn't move, and you had somebody pass by you?
Yeah, on the map that I'm talking about right now, there's an area where there are forklifts over a small like repair ditch. Like, you know how you can park a car above like a repair ditch, what they call a repair ditch, where you can go underneath the car, but it's a down and crop.
Mm-hmm.
It's a digging. There was one of those with a forklift above it, and that room's really fucking dark. So I had people run past me, even though my barrel and half my person was popped up onto the top of it. And that's not knocking the players, that's just how that map is.
Oh yeah, I'm not hating the players, it's more that, you know, but you can also somewhat give it to that as well. You can hate the players because you're playing a game where it is super dark and it is, you know, shooting everything. You should probably take a better eye and clear a room than just, you know, associate that just because you can't see something in the basic of the 25% of the room you can't, like, you can see, you don't see anybody.
Because for me to get an angle to shoot them, I would have to pop up into an area that's a little bit lighter to get overhead. Right? Which, don't get me wrong, guys, I'm going to buy a map on this map, and I will be using it to explain what you can look, what the areas I'm going to be on the standard map that you can buy. To be doing in this video is one, playing that map because you can buy a for it you can get like a rough sketch of the map.
Here it comes!
And me explaining where the extraction is, if you can make it to the extraction, me explaining how to move on the map, what weapons are for that map, if you're a scav on that map, what weapons you get, if you're a player on that map, depending on which spawns you get. On that map, you are, right when the map starts, you are a top.
What is this, factory?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you are not a scav, you are loading into the spawn
Yep.
for everybody is so close on that map that you do not have time to be like,
Oh, I'm gonna go explore over here and then go over here and
Now, there
just
ain't
a little bit
of that.
around.
Like, it's not a very high populated map. But it's also a very small base, so if you don't suppressor, which at the beginning of the game you will not.
Oh no, you don't!
Everybody is coming for you. You just let known everybody, like a dinner bell, where the hell you are.
Now, this is not enough on like, well, you don't play on map unless you have suppressors, unless you have flashlights.
Well,
Guess what? You can't get a flashlight. It's not a great
Well-
flashlight, but it's going to be used. And I will explain how to use it properly.
I was gonna state is, hey, but don't knock it because here's the thing. Just because you let them all know through shooting your guns at somebody else that everybody else now knows where you are, isn't also a bad thing. Because if they come to you, there's a chance that they may, peek the wrong way, and you get to see them first. You pop one bullet, and it was the only thing that they just heard bang, and the screen went black, and now they're back at the menu, saying that you killed them by hitting them in the head.
There's a lot of jokes for me with this map. Especially since I've had multiple of those maps where I've killed like 3 players, which is almost a whole Overwatch map, and then die all in like less than 2 hours.
Oh yeah. Welcome to, you're sitting there looting, and you get up to a certain amount of loot.
That was only spawn. That was off of spawn.
Oh.
That was only 2 minutes from spawn. Killed 3 kills, which is almost a whole server wipe of that map. And then I died from the last person popping a grenade around the corner.
But
It's like, it's one of those things, it's like, on that map is literally like the easiest. What's your flick? What's your pull-up time? How good are you with your accuracy? How good are you with target recognition? How good are you with clearing your areas? How good are you at pop flashing? If you want to drill in basics, you play Factory. Factory will get you down to where if you're doing a build and sweep on any other map, it's like Factory.
and
It ain't that bad.
We did it!
and
And
hey,
it's like that peace of mind. If you get to the point with Factory where you're like, I'm probably gonna die, but I can just rat off a few people, get some good, nice little kills, and hey, I may actually get out, right? If you get to that point with Factory, every other building in every other fucking map is the easiest thing you ever do.
when you're playing Factory for the first time, and you kill every person that was in your lobby, like that joke of within the first like 5 minutes of you coming in, you had to kill with everybody else because everybody converged into like one area. Even the scavs players all converged onto one place, and you were that one person.
Also, guys, scav players are infinite. They will keep spawning. Until the match is over, they will keep spawning.
What, like scavs or player scavs?
Scav players. Scav players don't spawn at the beginning of a match. They spawn in after 5 minutes of a match. And then they can keep spawning in until the end of the match. Or until the last 5 minutes. Or not last 5 minutes, last 3 minutes.
So there's a chance that for you killed every actual player, and then now, yeah, you killed a few scavs, you do all the looting. I'd recommend stay quiet. Probably most likely if you killed everybody like that, and you're looting, I expect the meme, damn boy, he's sick, and you look at the amount of weight you will have, and it'll probably be telling you you're in the red, and that you are going to be like walking like the slowest turtle.
I'm gonna reset, and I already says I will reset my account to do this. And my first explanation of the game, your first few games be over. You want to be.
Treat this as a training montage of like, you know, but instead of like the Rocky theme music where it shows like you're, you know, doing running and boxing, your character's like just grabbing like 30 logs that weigh way too much, overcumbering his stuff, and now he's like the slow walking, you know. But after those few, you know, times doing that, I know where it's like your guy's no longer slow walking, he's now walking faster or able to run with this mass amount of weight on him.
And I will literally explain how
Adapt, overcome.
I will explain how you're going to do this, and it's going to be the stupidest thing, and yeah, you're going to lose some shit, okay? Which is how can I put this? Escape from Tarkov basics. You know
Okay. Escape from Tarkov in the best summary, okay, people? So, you go to, I'm going to say this, you go to a casino, or any place like that. You're not guaranteed to win anything. You could lose
in Tarkov, you're not guaranteed to win at all.
Your stuff. And here's the thing, even if you could be midway, or like some of the players who played a lot, even they know it does not matter if they walked into a casino with $200 or a couple thousand. There's a chance that they could lose all that money.
Yep, that's the reason why there's no dumb Escape from Tarkov. Don't use it unless you can use it over 20 times.
And also, are you willing to possibly lose it? Because there's a chance that you will die and you will lose.
No, I'm saying like, don't use it unless you're able to use it over 20 times. It's like, can you afford that same setup 20 times?
Yeah, but me, it's also that point of, yeah, there's that, but it's like also that point of, even if you know, have had some times where it's like, oh, I won like plenty of games with this and it's one of my favorite guns, it doesn't mean you're going to win every time. That's just, yes, you have your favorite gun. There's a chance that your gun jams in the midst of the fire. I've seen it happen, and gone. And that gun's gone, your gear's gone.
Also, Escape from Tarkov's one of those games, it's like, you get used to using bad shit. And also, get used to find your weapon that jams a lot, that you like. So you can level up your gun, Yes. Leveling up some skills requires you to use a lot of bullshit,
And there's nothing like in the middle of the firefight when you have the guy less than like a few feet from you. You pull the trigger and the first 2 bullets go out and then that 3rd bullet jams. Nothing like it. I've watched so many Escape from Tarkov people do that, and just to hear their reaction, the gun fucking jammed! Ah! Yeah, as now they are booking it, trying to get their gun to unjam.
Yeah, that's the reason why you level up gun bonus.
Most of them, it's because they bought in probably the packs that let them have the guns that don't jam, or that they've never experienced it because they always make sure, I guess, it doesn't. That's why if you're a new player, you could, you could possibly screw over some people, you know, because it's like, sure, I die, but maybe they take my gun, and they think, maybe this new guy, is taking care of it, and yet your gun was one of those guns that jams a lot, and then your buddy comes up and he pulls out your gun, and he's about to shoot, your gun jams, and he's never had to unjam a gun before, so his skill will be like the lowest it could be, and your buddy's just gonna walk up, and before he can even have time to pull out the other gun, it's already too late.
See, there's a rule of thumb, is like, always level up skills, don't use them. Like, weapon maintenance, to unjam your guns, or build repairs, and everything like that. Always level those skills up, because you never know when you're going to use it.
See ya!
And it's better to have it than need it and not have it.
Well, yeah, that's one thing I do laugh. It's like, I've heard a lot of people state, oh, you don't need, to do stuff because, you won't need it, or you won't need it now. But it's like, yeah, you won't need it now, but what happens in like 20 games when you pick up a gun that does have this problem? Wouldn't it be better to have the means to unjam it quick, or, you know, possibly not even have it jam? Versus,
It's very rare
you know.
to get guns that jam on me, guys. And that's even with beginner shit. But I still want to use guns that do jam. And have them jam on me. Just so I can fix it. And level up my skills that normally you would never level up.
See, now, why do I sense that at one point people were like, oh, guns in this game don't jam, so this is a useless skill, and that possibly went to the developers, so then they probably made a season where guns jammed like a motherfucker.
Nope, guns have always jammed, and there's always been a chance of it.
Oh yeah.
Certain bullets with certain guns, and there's a lot that goes into the fact that it's not just like, your gun always jams, you know, it's a chance. It's like literally with your gun is going to jam on you or not. And it all depends on like all the things all the way down to like small little factors.
Bye-bye.
And it's just one of those jokes of like, you know, because I've seen it where people were using, like you said, a certain type of ammo, and the amount of, like, I guess it either had too much powder or not enough, that it was just caused jams, and like the guy had the skill to clear it, and he cleared it, he pulled the trigger, and I swear one bullet came out, it jammed again. I was like, Jesus, I think you may need to take off that ammo, my good sir. Sure, it might be great.
Because some people run that stuff on purpose just for their skills.
Oh yeah, but this time this guy was like in the midst of like trying to get his in a firefight. You could hear his squad is like needing his help, and this guy legitimately was not trying to level it up. It's that he used ammo that his gun was just like.
That is when you just don't read.
Yeah.
What's the burn of this? Does this have a chance of misfiring? Does this have a chance of jamming? What's the chances of this? Is this low, moderate? Is this a lot of burn? Is it going to do a lot of damage to my barrel? I'm on a overheat fucking barrel. Am I going to have an issue where like small little things fuck me up really badly? Am I going to have to like look for like something else? It's like, do I need to have a good secondary as a backup in case this happens? Am I going to have to run like an extra primary just with like certain things on it just to keep me out of like harm's way whenever there's jams and I just have a quick swap? Here's a lot of things. Also, I'm going to be talking about some of my least favorite guns in Escape from Tarkov, which are beginner guns. Now, there's a few beginner guns that are good. There's a few. Like a few
Then there's.
hands on pretty quickly. Then there's the Taz.
Hey, me, I get to make the joke. Anything that.
No, I love the Taz. If I can get a bigger magazine.
What, like 15 bullets?
No,
Not even?
The Taz is a bolt-action shotgun, man.
Oh, I've never.
The magazine for the Taz is a 2-round magazine.
We did it.
I think I've seen people use that.
Shots with it. And the only
I
shells
see-
you can buy at the beginning for the Taz is buckshot. Which is a 16 gauge shooting buckshot. It's not doing much to anybody, and it's a bolt action. So if you're going for leg pinging, you're not doing much.
I've seen a guy only kill once with it, and it was literally that joke. He killed the guy somehow. It was literally, I think how he did it was, he did the movie logic. He got really fucking close to the guy and basically had the barrel straight up pressed against him, pulling the trigger on the joints type of look, and it just you know, fucking killed the guy.
Places that aren't protected by armor, like if you can angle it, like if he's wearing a vest that doesn't protect his stomach, and you pop his stomach, man's flat. If you pop a head that doesn't have a face shield, man's flat.
Man had a helmet, but it was no face shield. It had, I think it was like a low-leveled vest, and the guy just immediately took all that stuff, dropped that shotgun. Immediately, just threw it on the ground, like, hell, probably, actually, no, thrown on the ground may have been assaulted. He threw it in the dumpster, because he was like, you know, because he wanted to show off what you're saying. Only he died like 7 times trying to get at least a gun.
Yeah, you see, the Taz is not great. I've gotten kills with it. Don't get me wrong. I've gotten kills with the Taz. It's just not a.
It's not something that you jump in joy when you find or when you have to use.
Yeah.
One
of my favorite games I've ever had was me using a Taz, but it was a fully customized Taz, guys. I'm talking about, I had Reaper slugs in it, which is the slugs that spin, actually are AP slugs, basically. I had a longer barrel on it. I had an actual fixed wooden stock, not the flip wire stock that it starts with. I had a 8-round mag, which is 9 in total because 1 in head. I had the barrel swapped out for a slug thrower barrel. And I had a reinforcement on the top of it so I could put a scope on it. And I was not using that shit like a shotgun, I was using it like a slug thrower. And it's some interesting thing when you see that person see you with a slug thrower and be like, is that man using a Taz? And that Taz just wrecks you by going through your like class 3 armor with a Reaper slug, and you'd be like, what? Did that just happen?
But yeah, like I kind of laugh because it's like that joke of, you know, 16 gauge. It's dangerous, but here and there, you know, and depending on what the person's wearing. That joke, I don't know if they have it, but I heard that somebody in our world was like, we have 12 gauge, we have, what is it, 9 gauge, 6 gauge, we need a 4 gauge shotgun.
Half of what you just named is not even enough.
Yeah, thank God, because I can only imagine.
You have 12 gauge, 16 gauge, 20 gauge, 10 gauge. Then you have 4 gauge, which is a rifle. It's a bore rifle.
It's just, when you hear 4 gauge, you're like, and some of these are shock.
And you do have 8 gauge, but 8 gauge was used as a flak, same as 4 gauge.
Which is just one of those things where you sit there and be like, and thank God nobody Escape from Tarkov does not have fucking 4 gauge, because I don't think anybody would like that. Like in the sense of you came around the corner, you were chasing the guy ran in, and he had a buddy who had the 4 gauge shotgun, and as I ran into the room to, you know, or I peeked the corner, he met me at the doorway with a 4 gauge shotgun.
And I will also explain weapons that I really like starting the game with. And I will explain like what you start off in the game, what you can buy at the beginning, and everything, right? And I'll explain like certain weapons are really good. Certain weapons have their own little roles to play. My controller just disconnected the light.
You can tell because you got hit once.
And it threw me off really badly, so I'm still trying to get back to what this fight flow was. okay, I'm not even 100% sure about like how this fight is going to be going for a second. Drink a potion and try to get back into the wells. Because there's a thing, like, Monster Hunter, which I call the groove of a fight. And if you lose that groove, then everything goes to hell in a handbasket.
I'm not kidding. There's actually a game coming out for PlayStation 5 that is exactly what you're describing. If you lose the beat of the fight, you do less damage and a bunch of other stuff. But if you stay in the beat, like, you know, every time you hit properly at a certain time, the game is just like, you get more damage, you do this stuff more, this and that, and it's just like, I get what that, you know, pertaining to the, you know, how fights sometimes are like a weird, you know. I literally told my father, and he did not believe me until I had to open his eyes a little bit more. If you actually watch two people, you know, have a fight, like a fist fight or anything, it's almost like they're dancing, but it's a different kind of dance, because everybody, when they hear dancing, they think of, you know, people shaking their hips and then moving their bodies and having a great time. No, I said they're dancing in a different sense. They're dancing in like, you know, it's combat, but how they're walking around each other, how they're sitting and moving around, right? It's like, they're almost like dancing, but it's more you know, hey, conflict dance of, you know, hey, you know, gotta be able to move, you know, maybe avoid a kick to your head or something, you know, because you know, sometimes stuff can come out of nowhere, man.
Say goodbye.
I did not see that. I hate Hibikidashis in this game so much, because they fight so much different than how Hibikidashis fight in other games.
This is gonna hurt.
So I'm like, see the headshot. And it has nothing to do with Tobikidashi. Tobikidashis are fun creatures, but there's moments like that. Whereas, like, I don't understand why they had to give a Tobikidashi a range attack.
You know, evolution, man, you know, the animals are evolving. But,
Here it comes.
yeah.
This isn't looking
Or
good.
give them combo chains that used to not be combo chains.
I do kind of laugh with, how
Here it comes.
in Escape from Tarkov, it's like, if you can learn to play a game where you can barely see around you in the dark, but you can learn to see, you will make people hate you, because other people will come into that game and they'll be like, some people, they'll think it's just like any streamer, YouTuber. The game looks like this. They're gonna come in, and they're gonna go to their settings, they're gonna do all this and that, they're gonna try to, you know, brighten the game, and they're gonna go in, and they're gonna find out real quickly what they've been watching, and all the settings they did for, quote, brightness really isn't doing much. And what they've been watching is a tire filter over top of a stream.
Yeah, and that's so people can actually see what they're doing.
Well, because it's kind of boring to be a live streamer showing, do you guys see this, you know, amazing stuff? And meanwhile, everybody's looking and it's just like this black, dark room, but you know what's there. The stream is like, huh? I can't tell, you know. I'm kind of waiting for like that joke, something to come out, like lean its head out of the darkness and go, you know, hey man, how's it going?
Did you just ignore me? I just got annoyed. I just got left on red by Toby, get out here. Get back here. No, not that way.
Why are you running?
I wanted a simpler introduction.
Be careful! Here it comes!
But, Escape from Tarkov's gonna be interesting. You know, ever play, because it's just gonna be one of those things where for me it's gonna be like, damn, so this is what it's like to almost be doing this in real life, but in a video game, because real life, you know, well, joke, you can get used to seeing in the dark.
You can also get used to the safe and dark seeing in the dark. Hell, there's a fucking skill for it.
But yeah, that's I didn't know if it always stayed.
I was really good with that. It's like the more you do it, the better your character gets at it. It's literally, there's a skill called Night Operations. Which is like how you use your character is at doing operations at night. It increases your visibility at night or in the dark.
Now, sure, it won't be to the level of like some of the night vision goggles or other things that, or is it better?
It is better in some aspects, especially when we're talking like actual night vision goggles.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, no, I was more meaning like in the sense of. Oh yeah, it's just that joke of you know, the night vision. They may be able to look in and see every like all the corners of a room. Okay, I'm not 100% sure if they'll be able to see like all the walls in one room, a square room, per se. Where if you peek your head in with no night vision, you may be able to see what, like half the room.
How would that make any sense? Night vision restricts eye movement. You see less.
Oh no, I just didn't know if it was like how it fully works, because like that's why I'm putting up a square room, not you know, an entire long hall.
The night vision goggle are the United States military uses, which is also like one of the first night visions you can get in Escape from Tarkov, is a single tube that only goes over one eye. Do you think you have good visibility with that?
No, I wasn't meaning like that kind. I was meaning like.
A whole fucking room with night vision.
But I don't know how it is with the other version.
The same way that you would. Trust me, no one's gonna spend that much money for it.
Oh no, I'm just meaning that I don't know how it is with the other, like without night vision. You're looking around like if we're because I'm using the square room. I'm using a square room over a long square rectangular hallway because hallways are longer.
If you can't see with your normal eyes, then how would night vision help? Night vision doesn't enhance your eyesight. It doesn't enhance your field of view.
You're my best pal.
It's not how night
This
vision
one's gonna
works.
hit hard.
Unless you're talking about like the fucking rear view 828 or the rear view. God, there is actually a helmet that has night vision on it that has a rear camera. That isn't even awesome. Oh, that probably gets used by any goddamn corporation.
Heck, to the day somebody makes a thing of like night vision, but it's not night vision. They just use it for night vision, and the hey, when you look through it, you literally can see as if it is perfectly night or day. That's when it's that joke. So, did you guys somehow break the technological barriers of having literal cat's eyes?
Be careful!
Like, that term of how, you know, we as humans, you turn off the lights, people will panic, you know, have to feel the wall and walk, right? Meanwhile, your feline, or a large, you know, tiger or anything out in the jungle, it could be pitch frickin' black and the motherfucker could find you and walk around. He could walk around, you know, in the jungle and not bump into a single tree. Oh yeah, but it's like the difference of that, but that tiger or anything like that, or your cat can see way further than you can even with that. Like, it takes some, like, getting used to.
And not really. Cats don't have that well of eyesight.
No, it's just that sense of, they can see at night. You can't, like...
But humans don't get the agitation to be able to see at night. It's just something they have to build up and do a lot. And human eyesight is better than cats.
Okay, I will... Here and there, I'm more like, okay, for nighttime, they...
I'm saying to me,
For the nighttime stuff, I'd have to say it's got a bonus to humanity.
They can see at night better than a human that doesn't look at night constantly. But if a human does off like constantly to the point where they can see at night easily, they have better night vision than fucking cats.
And now I will take this back and go, but this is you going into from, you know, that term. I take you from the environment that you know very well, like you say your house or your backyard or wherever, and put you in the middle of nowhere.
I'm not saying an average Joe. I'm talking about like get a person that has done this multiple times and can see in the night pretty well due to how often they do it. They will be
Oh yeah.
better than a cat.
But
Now, cats are better at navigating, not due to their eyesight, it's due to smell.
now, does it help that their eyes, because it can, well, also, and their whiskers, because, well, they can know that something's there in the sense of, oh, that's some type of object by just having it touch that accidentally.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, cats, their eyesight isn't what makes them really good, it's the smell, feel, fucking, like, literally, every other one of their senses makes them better at navigating the humans. Humans' eyesight is better than cats. Humans have one of the better eyesights in the animal kingdom. I said one of the better, not the best. There are
Hey.
a plethora that have better eyesight than humans.
Hey, hey, turn around and go, it's sad to say, people, but I think there's actually, what is it, the pistol shrimp or something like that? One of those kind of things that have, like, weird eyes that literally could see more colors than the human eye can, which makes you sit there and stare at it and go, so wait, there's colors that we as humanity don't know yet? just kind of a freaky thing to think of there. That
I mean, half the colors
that there is
are
something.
natural colors.
Yeah, it's just what your brain looks at and goes, take it that's what this is.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird, but
Because technically, human eyes only perceive 3 colors. And then everything else is a mixture of 3 colors by dilution of light.
but
Still, it's a weird...
but in the sense of he's going after but you're going on a trained person. See, I was going for the fact of like a fresh person into Escape from Tarkov. Your eyes, so right there, I'm treating you as a person who you go to bed before the sun goes down. You wake up as the sun is up and it's already bright outside. You know, the term nighttime for you is like the rare thing to ever be out in. You know, you always have lights on. So Escape from Tarkov, you are a guy who now has to take from that and go, you are going into complete pitch blackness. No light, really. There are some, but you don't want to have a light on, because it ain't probably going to go well for you if somebody sees that. And
night vision goggles, and you're just flashbang.
Yeah. But,
Some of the worst sense possible, because that shit hurts.
the term, hey, I've only seen it a few times where in a game where they tried to actually take the realism of night vision. It sucks shit if you actually just have a light click on or a flashbang goes off. Then you literally feel, even as a player, you're like, my fucking eyes, because the screen went from being pitch black or maybe of a tint green to all of a sudden it's like so white, bright white, that your eyes from sitting on the couch are sitting there going, ah! And now imagine if you were a person standing there having this happen. I'm pretty sure that's what we like to call a cruel thing to somebody to do, you know, you flashbang them like that, and then you look in, and as they're taking out the night vision, like, almost like tapping the wall and trying to get their eyes to readjust to such a fucking environment moment change.
It's one of the worst things that have light with the night vision.
This one's gonna hit hard!
Because it's not like how video games are where you just take your night vision goggles off and your eyes are fine. Hell, there's a thing called glitch vision, which is where like you wear night vision for too long. When you take it off, your eyes hurt.
Well, it's because if you see what night vision looks like the screen you're looking through, it's somewhat like a little digital screen that is putting a light to your eye, and now here's the thing that most people don't realize is, so when you stare at a light, your eyes will narrow and go thinner. That black part and everything around your eye will go thinner because it's trying to dull down the light that's coming in. When you are staring into a night vision goggles, your eye opens. Your eye, meaning like you're taking in, like your eye will want to take in more of that light. Now, all of a sudden, I turn around and turn on the lights or a flashbang. That alone will, like, you're going to feel a burning sensation in the back of your eye, and that's literally the term. All your visual nerves, everything like that, are literally like on fire because they've just gotten hit with so much light with no protection, and your eye is now basically like, if you open your eye in the darkness, there's now probably like gonna be like white splotches everywhere, even though but you get what I mean. Like, it is so painful. I've had a few moments where, you know, I've had my eye like that, but not because of night vision. Just, you know, shit happens. The best description for it is, so you could be sleeping in bed, people. You know, nice sleep, everything's going great, you know, maybe you just woke up and went to the washroom a little bit ago, whatever, you're just dozing back off, and just as you're about to fall asleep, your parent comes into the room. Hey, you gotta get up for school. Come on. And you, they turn around, and you know maybe you just open your eyes a little and be like, "What?" And they turn on the light. That pain right there you feel. Now imagine that, but 10 times worse, because instead of it being like a mild burning that hurts your eye, but like you'll get over it. Feel like it's like something that you're willing to actually almost take out your eye and be like, fuck it, I'll take almost being blind over this.
It's like, okay, there's a thing that soldiers have to go through, which is nighttime operation training, which is just so flash of a gun does not bother them, whether they're wearing NVGs. Because even that hurts.
But the joke, the reason why I was bringing up cat size and all that is because for them, I don't know if a flashbang would do the same amount of damage. But their eyes, even without night vision, that joke, it could be dark people, but because the joke, the light of the moon, is maybe just bright enough, or any light really, they can pull it in, and for them, where you as a human being who's never, you're not used to going outside, in the sense of being in the dark, you're going to be somewhat doing the hands out, you're not wanting to slam into something, right? And you're only going to be able to see, like, as far as your hand can reach out. You can just see the back of your hand, okay? Meanwhile, your household cat can see probably, like, half, like, if, the other side of your, like, basically all the way around pretty well, in the sense of its eyes are literally just pulling in anything of light it can, and just illuminating the area for it, in the sense of its eyes, how it's working. It's almost like talking fucking magic. It's using the power of the light that's around, and the light that's and this and that, and going into it. The reason why it's that joke of, the most, scariest thing to, see during anything on, like, how to tell you're possibly being hunted by something when you can click on a light and flash it over a certain area, and you just see a bunch of glowing eyes staring at you. Either canine, hey, or then you turn around and, hey, also if you're in the swamps and you do that, that's not canine nor cat, and you don't want to go near it. And yes, he can see you.
Yes, alligators, and crocodiles,
Big ass fucking lizard.
All crocodilians have, not all crocodilians are big, because you have caimans.
Oh yeah, but okay. I said a big ass lizard. How big can a caiman get?
Not as big as a Gila, and not as big as a Tegu.
Yeah, but still, it's a predator.
Some fucking, not even bigger than some
If it can, hey, it depends. Hey, it depends on the max size, but still, just throwing that off. But throwing that off topic, okay?
Medium-sized reptile, not big.
But still.
And no, here's the thing: all crocodilians have better eyesight than us. That is true. That is true.
Well, yeah, when you can sit underwater and still look up through water and be like, man, do you see that thing that's leaning over the water's edge and drinking?
Well, that's due to a filament.
That one right there.
Base eyesight is better. The filament, I'm not adding that. I'm talking about base eyesight is better. Their base eyesight is better than humans. The filament that lets them see underwater, that's the filament that isn't a testament to their eyesight. Because you can have something with
Hey, that's a testament to evolution.
Yes, that's a testament to evolution. That's a good evolutionary trait for something that is a stock predator.
Like, hey, every time I've heard of certain things that, like, other creatures have, but here's humanity, I'm just like, If we get the short end of a stick, like everybody, oh, we have intelligence, this and that. We legit on a survival scale out in the dark, out in any other environment that is not our own, is the equivalent of near death.
No, I like the fact it's like humans have intelligence and they use the tools. We're not the only creature that does that.
Monkeys, crows, and I know a fucking bird, a bird.
Some creatures have higher intelligence than humans.
Hell, the scary part is that we were thinking that we thought that Ravensville, that it was like, oh, they have the brain power of like a young child, but meanwhile they're starting to watch things that are like, maybe they're, you know, now having the brain evolution of a young adult, like a young human adult, because, you know, last time I checked, we as humans domesticated animals, yet here are raven, like blackbirds, you know, basically just going out and taming wolves and hunting with them and flying around and eating them, and they've literally watched a bird get treated as a part of a pack of wolves.
Yeah.
And it's kind of one of those sad things where you gotta sit there and stare at that and go, it took humanity how long to do that? And here's a bird just doing its bird thing of flying around, seeing something and making noise, and you know. So weird. But yeah, it's one of those sad things where you just, humanity, oh, we have, you know, we have intelligence, we have the means of the joke, technology, and a bunch of other shit, and I just go, that doesn't make us better than a baseline animal. Like, because that term of, you take it all away, you have to take that all away and go down to, okay, so a human male versus a full out either crocodile, whatever you pick it, a male, you know, crocodile. Okay.
Okay, before we continue on to this, a human male can outpower a crocodile. It just depends if we do it correctly.
Okay, but I'm more meaning, let's go down the you know, advantages of a human. So we stand upright. We have
Opposable thumb is also supposed to be having adrenaline.
Yep, we have adrenaline.
Have adrenaline.
Yeah, but yeah, not all. You would think a crocodile would.
No, adrenaline increases. Adrenaline is something that most primates have. Like, okay, adrenaline is always a thing, but humans in primate adrenaline works different than how creatures' adrenaline is. Most of the time, adrenaline gets pumped into a creature and makes it so they can keep running away from danger, but it only gets instinctively put into them when they're injured. And they need to get away. Primates use adrenaline as basically a...
We're gonna square up, you and me. Here we fucking go.
Primates use it as like a last stand drug. It's basically we shut off our brain, telling us that if we use too much like power, that we're injuring ourselves. That's what adrenaline does to primates. Basically, what I'm getting at is like humans have a different functionality of adrenaline.
But okay, so boom, but we have opposable thumbs. We can. I'm trying to think here.
Is the highest adaptability.
Yeah, we can adapt. Oh, okay. I stop right there and go, okay, well, I look at crocodiles and go, are we sure about that? Like, I could have swore, like...
I'm saying we can, hey, put a crocodile in areas that has, like, a lot of, like, sodium in the air, or a lot of sodium. It will be worse for them than it will be for us.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I just sit back and go, you know, that joke. I never thought crocodiles or anything could survive cold, but then I also forgot, it's like, wait, these are the things that survived, like, how many extinction periods, people? And they're still around?
Yeah,
So, you know, just that joke. Don't shit on certain animals because that scary part of you look at them and be like, that thing survived a lot like us, and it's still around to this day as well. But going from there, it's like now we got a bunch of other things, but a single human being though is that joke almost like weak, right? But that's why
I would have to get off of stream to explain because of modern day people. Technically depends on build structure of the human.
Oh yeah, but it's also more like it's that feeling of like, hey, if like you were walking around in the woods, it's getting dark and all that.
Because if you want to be general about humans, human build structure of a certain type of human is able to outpower most creatures. If you're talking about full extent.
Now, if you run into a fucking grizzly bear out there, well,
Adrenaline in shape male can outpower a grizzly. And it has been done.
Man, the only time I've heard of a man out being a grizzly or any kind of bear was literally that term. They either were on death's door because again, you're dealing with something that, for one, we as humans lost a lot of our senses due to, a beautiful thing called evolution, because, your intelligence is what you got. You know that sense of smell that, could help you maybe distinctly go, that doesn't smell right, is not, so, versus a fucking grizzly bear who, as soon as the wind could change, the wind could have blown towards you from the grizzly bear, and you should have been able to at least maybe pick up a cue or something. But your brain, because of not having the thing anymore, or it's not doing anything like that anymore, you won't know that it's there. But meanwhile, the wind changes and blows the other direction. Your smell to the bear knows where you are. Okay, so the bear already has an advantage on you. It could know you're in its area. You have no fucking idea that there's a bear in your area. Two, the guys who I've heard are like, because of that, the bear got the upper hand in the fight. So, I sit there and go, we as humans I literally put are the equivalent of luck incarnated.
Yeah.
Because you were either going to be the luckiest human being and have a memory of like some joke of some knowledge of being like one guy, he was about to die to the bear. It was going to come over and finish him, and he remembered his grandmother saying, "Did you know predators, like big animals like a bear, tiger, certain things like that, have a horrible gag reflex?"
That's true.
And that's the only thing that saved this guy, because all of a sudden the bear came up, and just as it was about to attack him again, he came up and just aimed right for its mouth and put his fist right down its throat.
Yeah.
And it's just like that. Yep. Won him the fight and got the bear to fuck right off. And one of those jokes would be like, it's one of those terms of pure luck will save you sometimes, because taking on a full like grown grizzly bear at its prime versus a human being who could be at its prime, you're at disadvantages of, for one, it's got claws that are going to like cut you like pretty fucking bad. It's got a bite force that can probably it will shatter your arm.
Yeah.
And you as a human being can punch that bear as hard as you want, but like, I don't know truly what a human punch will do to a bear. I'm going to associate it probably like how, you know, it's like you know, punch a really big, like the heavyweight champion, you watch the head move slightly and then he just...
It's not punching. The human male's muscle structuring, as long as their brain tells them not to worry about their own safety, is able to lift almost a ton. Physically, we are capable of dealing damage.
Yeah, but your body, but the thing is that's only an extreme.
We're damaging ourselves, but no, that happens once you get pushed to the point of your adrenaline literally being like, okay, you need to survive.
Yeah, no, but that's to the extreme levels, because, you know,
that's the thing of humans.
But like,
you can't, if you're talking about just built-in features of a human, you have to put that in there. Because that's not extreme, that's too,
yeah.
Your brain literally puts
Okay, but I turn around and go, okay, but on the average human male nowadays, who, let's see our diets and everything, and okay, so we are nowhere near what you were stating for the means of being a healthy, at least somewhat physical, able to do some, you know, good stuff. So I'm going to drop that down to, a lot, because most average men are below the bar of that nowadays.
I'm not arguing that. I was just saying, when I first brought up the conversation, I said, yeah, a healthy adult male.
So, but
a healthy adult male can outpower a lot of things, is what I said.
But
if you wanted to that my exact business.
Oh yeah, we are not in that term right there. Most men are not. Yep. So take that, because sadly we are. Well, I just put it to terms. It used to be that you need to be a big, strong, healthy guy because work required you to need that muscle, required you to need to be able to lift heavy things, to do all this stuff. But then this thing came along called technology, and technology lets you have this thing called a forklift, or automatic hydraulic lift, or a bunch of other stuff to help you take this heavy thing, and instead of you lifting it, this will. And now, to some people, it's like, oh, that makes life so much easier. That makes us as human beings become weaker, because now no longer is our human body needing to keep constantly always going to that level of, hey, we need all this extra strength, gotta get ready for that. And now you're on the levels of being like, I am just, you know, we're starting to drop in that sense of, you know.
Again, I'm not arguing it.
Yeah, again, that's, hey, this is that point of, I'm saying this and he's not saying anything wrong about it, so. And now.
If you're talking about like a still, if you want to consider like actual evolved muscle structure of a human male is meant for combat, a healthy adult male is capable of
actually, one thing we did lose in our evolution that was keenly shown because of literally look at monkeys, okay, versus human males. If I were to cut or stab you in the gut, okay, that's death to us. That's unless you go to the doctor.
That's because we started walking on two legs.
Uh-huh. Meanwhile, our primate chimpanzees, you can stab them in the gut. There's a chance that motherfucker is just gonna walk away. Yeah, he's got a cut, but it'll close up actually.
Yeah, but again, that's due to us walking on two legs.
Yeah, but hey, that term of evolution, it's a bitch. Has its benefits and has its downfalls.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, dude, the benefits outweigh the downfalls. Probably, yeah.
Like, hey, sure, we became more smarter, this and that, but we lost the means of, like...
Walking on two legs does have its benefits, because it helps reach food and everything. Technicality, it helps survival.
Yeah, but then it also, like... It went up in survival, and then there was also a negative in survival. Because, you know, hey, we went from, yeah, we can survive, you know, and get food easier that's in a higher place, you know, like reach up into an apple tree and pull off the apple.
But, and this is the other thing, we did lose the capability of being able to live through a lot more puncture wounds, but we did gain the capability, unlike chimpanzees, to be able to live through more impact hits. Humans can live through more damage than most other primates.
But,
and I know that's weird for me to say, but yes, a human can take more impact damage than most other primates.
Just don't go out there and think like, oh, because if I eat healthy, work strong, I can go and take on a full-grown male chimp. No, fuck no, God no, God no, you're going to die. It will beat the crap out of you and then do whatever it wants to you, okay? Because
if we're talking about straight up impact, like taking an impact hit, we can take more damage from an impact than that chimpanzee. Basically, what I'm saying is like, this is going to be the weirdest example. If a rhino rammed you and a rhino rammed that chimpanzee and the horn did not go into either one of you, that chimpanzee would take more damage than you.
But
that is true.
Well, it's because here's the thing: if you're smart as a human being, you're going to turn around, and as the impact's about to happen, you're just going to go limp.
No, it's not even that. It's due to how human muscle structure is. Our muscles are literally built to take impact.
Oh yeah, but it's that term of, yeah, but it's that term of also it's unconsciously. You would unconsciously, like that's the thing is, you wouldn't even realize your body's just.
Even if your body did not like loosen itself during impact, our muscle structure is more built for taking impact than it is taking pure puncture.
Oh yeah, I'm just.
Don't have the same muscle balance that humans have for impact damage.
Oh yeah, but I'm just stating, like, you know, you will unconsciously.
Impact was due to humans fighting humans. That's
well, yeah.
The main thing for us, because you take more impact damage in fights against our own opponents.
But with us, you know, it's like you had that, and
most of evolution of a human is what we evolved through needing to kill each other. That's the stupid part about it.
It's funny.
Because at some point humans learned that, hey, we're a bigger threat to ourselves than other creatures.
Well, like, come on, like, I think they're finding evolution, like, they're looking at a certain points in history, and there's, you know how some people are afraid of the dark, and it's like it's a really high number of people who it's like,
yeah, it is.
Unknown, we're unknown why we fear to, you know, something snaps in the trees out in the forest, you know, your heart rate goes up from like 1 to 1,000, everything. They're thinking it's because of a certain time in history where there were other, you know, yeah, there was, you know, Homo sapiens, you know, other versions of humans, right? Yeah. That lived in the same periods of time, but just in, like, you know, one lived all the way in Asia, the other one lived all the way in fucking Europe, the other one lived all the way in, like, what would be the Americas nowadays, right? Yeah. And some of them never had contact with each other, but then others spread out. And a lot of them believe that what had happened was there was one species of human, I think it was Neanderthals, basically cavemen, but they weren't the cavemen who, you know, ooga booga and show you cave and all that. They were like, you know, from what they could possibly gather from what they're guessing is these things were big people. Like, they were mainly a lot of muscle, and they could see in the dark.
Yes.
And where every other human being could not. We had to have fire to light up our way. We had to have a light to see. And they believe that they were also heavily, because of, and when I say big, I mean like these things were muscular. These things were the equivalent of what we would call warriors nowadays, of like, hey, that's like a super soldier body. They had that kind of bod. So because a lot of people wonder what happened to the fossil records of man at a certain point in time. Like, why can't we find human remains or anything like that, right? Because sure, human beings' bodies break down over time and everything, but if you well preserve a body, like look at the Egyptians, right? They believe that the reason why we can't find some in these time periods is because these beings were literally the term cannibals. Like, they were eating other humans, and there was no bones and all that left, because these guys would literally eat the bone as well.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
So they believe that because of that, they dropped every other species of human down to the point of extinction levels for them. But it wasn't until like a cataclysm of its own came back to, like, it was like, you know, that joke, you know, either some people would call it, you know, God, other people would say that it's just nature, you know, bad luck. You know, it turned around and was like, volcano goes off, and to some people it's like, whatever, a volcano goes off, you know, all the time, look at this place. Yeah, but in our modern times, a volcano goes off, you know, in certain places, you know, there's nobody around for miles. Depending on where you are, you know, unless you're in Hawaii, but then, you know, well, you know,
like Mount Rushmore blows up.
Yeah, but still, it's like one of those things of, we have other things that it's like, it's not going to be as bad as what you think, but it's because modern day we have means to get away from it and aid each other a lot better. Meanwhile, back when this was still, again, the ooga booga times of, you know, no speaking like this, basically the environment changed because, well, that's what happens, you know, volcanoes erupt, sulfur, acid water can happen, right?
Yeah.
And it just killed off a lot of their things, made it very, very hard for them to live, and eventually that joke, you know, our ancient ancestors, I think, finally came because we were the ones hiding in caves to get away from them. So it's a thing of, they believe that that's why mankind fears dark, is because at a certain point in our history, we were literally afraid of, you heard a crack in the night from the bushes, you feared that it was something far more than just a bear. You would, at modern day, this would be the equivalent of us wishing it was a wild animal of Earth. We're finding out it's the equivalent of a xenomorph out there, okay? Hunting you down. Your greatest fear, something that you won't know it's coming until it's too late, possibly. You know, I say our greatest fear because, you know, mankind's greatest fear nowadays is, you know, oh my gosh, that's a freaking alien! And other things, so. But yeah. So that's a fucking hilarious part there. That, you know, going down for our evolution, it's like, there was a point in time where what we have nowadays as humanity almost was not a thing, and that we could have been a totally different race altogether.
Yeah.
And think, we wouldn't need night vision because we would have already been built in. I literally heard this, I was like, you kidding me? Like, hearing all their evolutions comparatively to us, I literally did that look up to the sky, I was like, what are we, some type of frickin' joke?
Basically.
Like, guys literally had the body of, like, from what I heard, the equivalent of, like, what would be, you know, really tough, muscular bodies that were not to be, like, you know, they were, you know, going, you know, they could outstrength the male of our time right now very easily. And then, you know, they could just see at night and walk through a forest without bumping into shit or needing a light. And meanwhile, it takes a human like us a while to get used to that. And even then, we're not on the same level.
Yeah. I'm gonna be swapping my weapons I'm using as that. And swapping armor says I'm gonna be using as that versus this thing. Because it's literally like, I'm just like the highest damage weapon I have. Because the element does not matter.
But, yeah, so...
Wait, did I make the Tobikadashi charge blade? I don't think I did. Fuck. And what else? I'll get back to that.
But yeah, going back onto the human evolution of it. But yeah, we gained a lot, but lost a shitload, and then still have not gotten to certain places. Now, a weird thing I also hear is that people want the next evolution of man to be us to have a bigger brain.
Nope.
Because they... Well, for one, yeah, that's true. Two, they're thinking that a larger brain means you know, will be more intelligent.
That's not true.
And I actually will believe in the facts of, if you take the, what is it, Planet of the Apes movie, the more recent one, they showed, like, a thing where, I guess that's what happened in the movie, human brains were growing. And they grew to 2 times as large as what they were before. No, like, in the sense of, like, it grew, like, here's the human brain, and just add, like, a little bit more, but the size up just enough, just that little bit. Threw us from being the top species to being, like, we couldn't even speak English. To try to talk, because... the whole point of that was it takes so long for now a signal to reach from your brain to the brain stem to go shooting down to do this. Like, that's where it kind of makes you laugh. It's like, and they want that to be the next evolution of man, is to have us, because they think it'll make us faster. Meanwhile, it won't. Actually, from what they stated, the best evolution would be not to the mind.
I'm just saying, like, you want to talk about like brain itself? Like, if it was stuck to only like a brain changing things, if our brain got smaller,
a few people were like, you know, basically like, well, it would be better if we also had it where instead of it being either bigger or smaller, different parts in our brain start actually activating.
Yeah, that would be better. But I'm just saying, like, if you want to talk about dysfunctionality that we have right now,
Another thing, hey, I make the joke of it, you know, we need to hopefully have a better healing factor, because sure, human being healing factor is already above like one pretty good one, where it's like, oh, you broke that bone, we place it in the right place, less than 3 months later, there's a possibility, oh yeah.
we heal quickly,
But-
it's not satisfying.
Oh yeah, but
Bodies do adapt to it. There's a cool thing, is that we adapt to it.
oh yeah, but it's one of those things of like, it's a kind of hilarious where you hear all this, it's like, but the whole aspect of it is just like a lot of like things with it is like, hey, a faster healing rate, yeah, hey, would I not want a faster healing rate? Do I want a Deadpool healing rate? Fuck no. As much as that seems cool, do I really want Little Hand?
Deadpool's healing rate's faster than that. That was just a movie joke.
Oh, I know. I'm just making. I had to make a joke there. You know, Do I really want little hand off of Deadpool? Probably not. But the whole thing is just like a lot of what they're saying is just like, you know, there are things that they're wishing for. Meanwhile, it's just like one evolution that I know. Well, I don't know if it's a de-evolution or an evolution. I'm not 100% sure. You can already tell this. So, if you try to move your pinky toe, okay, your toe beside it will move unconsciously. You can try to not have it do it. You know, you could, you know, have gotten used to it where you can feel all your toes. Oh yeah, but like I'm just putting like even yours will have done this. Oh yeah, but it's that sense of but here's the thing. Yours would have already done this, even though this has happened. It's to the nerves. They've seen it in the nerves of your pinky toe is slowly actually being lost. Yeah, it's useless for one, and two, it's already the fusion of the nerves to it and the one beside it has already taken place. So instead of it being like, you know, how each one of your hands has nerves running to each one, and yes, they somewhat meet in a set area to like kind of do certain things, but they all just run down there, right? This one's now it's all fused together into one that are slowly becoming a toe, I guess. Now, but that won't. They stated the pinky toe will eventually probably come off or fuse together with the other toe within the next 1,000 years. You know, because there's almost like every 1,000 years you'll see an evolutionary trait difference of the previous humans. But it's to that point of, well, it's because most human beings, you know, we look at certain things, but me, it's like, again, I would have to see that 1,000-year difference of like, okay, so 1,000 years would be impossible for me to see because for one, I'm going to die in 100. But if that is true, then but oh yeah, but what they're meaning of that is like you could see it in that aspect of yeah, like, you know, but the 1,000 years would be like, okay, so say I took a human being right now of our 2000s, right, or early 2000s or whatever, and then we go to 1,000 years in the future. Both humans are possibly gonna, maybe not a lot has changed, but this guy may not have a pinky toe anymore. Oh yeah, but it's that term of one species became 5 species in the course of 20 years. Evolution does not take that long. Oh yeah, shit. It depends on on certain things. It's more like for them. It's, I think they're meaning like to actually see all these different things of it. Like, so you lost your little toe. Okay, so did you get anything? You know, maybe we grew like a foot taller. Did we get more muscle? You know, different things, right? You know, it's one of those, you know, taking from each person's body and like seeing what's happened over that time period. But for them, it's like, no, it's not. It's just like sometimes you do lose in evolution to gain in other places. It just sounds weird, but you know. Yeah, or like, hey, autism, you know. Oh god.
That's why I think people don't understand something. It's not necessarily
Oh, look, can we have...
it's just age, and I haven't had it. That's all it is.
But it's but for some people they call those degenerational upgrades. Basically, like it makes you not, you know, good. You know, it's not good. It's yeah, but they call it a de-evolution, which that okay. Yeah, no, but they sense because, okay, are you better than you were before? No, technically not, because, you know, everybody...
De-evolution means you're becoming what you used to be. If you want to go...
Or... Oh yeah, but some people would be like, but they'll put it there being like, you know, we're not, it wasn't a step forward. It wasn't that step forward in our evolution where now, you know, we can now move things with our mind.
Because it is a step forward, because it is a step forward from what we used to be, because it did change what we used to be, meaning we did step forward for something else. It does step forward does not mean to be better. And evolution does not mean to be better. De-evolve, if you actually look in the definition of de-evolve, is just to degrade back into a previous settlement, or in previous evolvement and change.
Oh yeah, but for some
Like
people they would...
Humans went back to every human having webbed, like webbed toes and webbed fingers. Like having actual complete webbing. Humans don't have that anymore. If every human went back and got that again, that'd be a de-evolution. Because we went back to having something that we don't have anymore.
But, see, it's that some people would turn around and be like, what I'm putting is, like, they call it a de-evolution in the sense of, okay, so say everybody had autism, like, that became a thing. They'd call it that because they'd say it's a degradation because it's like, okay, so what benefits does everybody having autism have? Possibly nothing great. Meaning that...
It's a degrade, but it's not a de-evolution. If they call it a
Yeah.
de-evolution, they need to pick up a fucking dictionary.
Yeah. Degrade or, you know, whatever, because it means like, you didn't get a, you know, yes, I can now lip things with my mind, I'm Professor Xavier, or, you know, I got amazing healing factor, I'm better than Wolverine. You got screwed, basically. And that's the point, is they bring it up, and it's just like one of those kind of, you get it, like, okay, you know.
Yeah,
And
what the meaning is, I'm just saying, like, technically,
you don't,
use of a wrong definition.
but it's to the fact of also, it's like, man, I don't know if, you know, I don't think I'd want to have the telepathy or anything like that, because that term of, I don't think I want to be able to read other people's minds, possibly. It's because, for one, you know,
That would be a degrade.
that'd be and for one, I can only imagine that term of, you know, it's a pleasure to meet you, it's a pleasure to meet you, and you, sir, are just nasty.
No, that'll be like every guy meeting a girl that, like, looks...
Oh, fuck!
It's like every guy meeting a girl that looks, like, good to him, and having, like, the opening conversation, it's like, hey,
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, my name is... Yeah.
No, that doesn't even happen, okay?
No, it's like, how can I get in your pants? Wait, what did you say? I didn't say anything.
I didn't say anything. Man, you know, look at her, thick and fine. Did you just call me thick? No. What are you talking about?
I thought I was wearing the neural inhibitor.
Yeah, like, it's like, this man's in where it's like, yes, that is exactly it. Damn it, I thought these inhibitor pills were supposed to make it so this wouldn't happen. But, And the healing factor, it's like, okay, sure, great, that's a great thing. That also could be a really bad thing if you think of other ways out of like bad things. Because just hey, okay, to go down that you know, hey, mankind was one time eaten by its own race. Okay, like I said, the Neanderthals were eating it. So what's stopping a different race that's to come to Earth and then seizes its food? And then you find out that this race has a healing factor, like you could chop off their arm. It will regrow back. Just put that out there. Leave your brain to think of that horrifying nightmare. And go, it's not a good evolution to have, as much as it's like, you know, I can heal myself up immediately. To then going past that, it's like, also to the fact of, say something really bad is going on to your body, like a Deadpool, cancer, right? How do you know that your body's actually not going to make that spread faster? Because technically, every time we maybe do a surgery to get rid of it, right? Your body will turn around and make it again. Only it's going to make it 5 times more because it, you know, that's what happens with it. To other genetical diseases that, you know, would take a long time to go through your body, but because your body's like able to be like, oh hey, rapid regen, rapid regen, rapid regen, how do you not aid certain things to actually become more dangerous?
And by the way, guys, I just want to say real quick. Usually weapon that says Visarius is
This is gonna hurt.
Okay, go outside. You know, take your kitchen knife, okay, and slam it against a rock. Yeah, and hit a rock, and you tell me who's doing more damage to who. And that knife is going to be sitting there going, I am plotting your demise. I will somehow grow arms and legs and come after you. But, yeah, I don't know what would actually be a good human, like, going forward, evolution would be. I'm trying to think of a good one. Can you think of one least good one?
Humans are like every other creature. We evolved into what we need. Humans don't really need anything.
Yeah, that's the point. It's like, our current point now, we don't need anything.
The next evolution humans are probably going to get is something to get rid of something that we don't need.
Run like the wind.
It's because like that is how creatures evolve. Give us what we do, and take away, and then after we get everything we do, we'll take away something we don't. Not just humans, just every creature works that way. Like, we don't have enough food source. Okay, let's evolve in a way that makes it so it's impossible to die. Okay, we don't have a good water source. Okay, let's evolve in a way that we don't really guys much water. Okay, we're completely stable. What do we have that we don't have?
Be careful.
Yeah.
That is how creatures work.
Like, there's a possibility that in the sense of there could be the next evolution of man could make it that, you know, what, we only use 10% of our brain. We could possibly have an upgrade where now we use 20. Just 10% difference. That alone would be mind-blowing. Legitly, and also, like, scary. Because we don't even know what our full brain could do. And now I'm not gonna state, you know, like that one movie, what is it, where the one girl, like, she gets that power, like, has the means of, like, but you know what I'm talking about. I don't think we're gonna be like, you know, you're sitting there and, you know, literally almost on the verge of time traveling. I don't think.
There's no guarantee.
Yeah, there's no guarantee, but... but, you know...
There's nothing to back up Candace?
It's more of the... That would just be... pretty scary, and also to the fact of, like...
Because one of my favorite sayings is that nothing's impossible, just improbable. Technically it is possible.
Hey, impossible. Hey. No, anybody. Impossible is a thing. No, impossibilities are just something that was probably going to happen. Yeah, that have not happened yet. And also, you know, once we face that problem, we'll overcome it. Because why? Because like there's just a lot of things like that. That's the joke of life, you know. It's one of those things where, you know, oh, it's impossible to do certain things. I don't know, people. I thought it used to be impossible as well until I've heard stories of human beings doing things that would be like, to any other person, that's impossible. These people, the fuck. You like, I think one guy here, it's impossible to move a mountain. True statement. You know, you can't just, me as a guy, I can't just walk up to Mount Everest and be like, I don't like it being here, and then move it 5 feet, bang. Yeah. One guy though, it was like over in India or something. He lost his wife due to they had to climb a cliff, just climb a mountain basically, and she fell off the cliff one time trying to bring him lunch, and she died because she couldn't reach to the hospital in time. And he was so angry at the mountain and how life had done this to him that he went out every day and started to, with a sledgehammer and chisels and pickaxes, and started cutting it down. And he did it for so freaking long that everybody, you know, that joke, but, you know, 5 years, 10 years, you watch where he was hitting is starting to actually change, and he made a freaking road through there. Like the government over there, like when he finally finished his final rock smashed and he looked up, he had opened a literal ravine into a mountain and it cut to the other side. And he did it basically all by himself.
It was probably expended by the government afterwards, but...
Oh yeah, expended by the government made it wider for it to connect the road, but still, he did that all basically by himself to the point that it was like they were now willing to step in and help.
But you gotta think, like, there is no such thing as impossible. It's just implausible. There's a not likely chance of it happening, but there's always a chance. Even if that chance is so negligible that you can't even find the 1 at the end of zeros, there's still a chance.
Hey, hearing that one, I was just like, Jesus, that's literally that. Yeah, that is a lot of anger, people, to like look at basically the equivalent of any mountain. Like, just imagine Mount Everest. It took my best buddy, so now I'm gonna cut it down to fucking size. You think it's fucking funny, mountain? Watch me. And then you turn around and like 20 years later, Mount Everest is now no longer the tallest thing on the planet Earth. Why? Because you beat it down that bad. You know, you had a sledgehammer and a chisel, and you sat there for just beating down a mountain, turning it into smaller rocks.
Donko, or a taste of heaven.
That's called determination of man.
That is also the other. Yeah, do not put it past any human being out in our world. If, you know, that joke of, he was that video, okay, of the black guy. I'm gonna get you, bitch, and that's what he did to the mountain.
Like he did the black market surgeon trying to give you liposuction.
And it actually went well and good somehow. Do not take the chances. Do not do it. You know, do not pass go and collect $200. Okay.
Go to prison for the rest of your life.
But still, just
It's like that person playing Monopoly that ends up in jail, gets out of jail, rolls for like 2 turns, and ends up back in jail.
I've had a buddy do that one time. It's amazing to watch.
Every single time, to the point where it's just like, dude, can I just stay here? I think it's comfy now. There's 3 hops in the count.
See, it's funny. There's actually a rule in Monopoly where if you roll the die and you roll the dual numbers, you get to roll again.
Yeah.
So, but if you roll it, I think it's 3 times in a row that you end up immediately in prison. I remember doing that. Like, I'd get I'd do it 2 times, and my third thing, you know, the third strike never came. I had people pissed, fucking furious at the fact of being like, they would try it, and they'd hit always that third one, and roll dual snake eyes, get to fucking prison. And then meanwhile me, I'm like, it's my third roll, and a 6 and a 4. Okay, later guys.
You can use this to your advantage.
But still, hey, get off top of there of the, but who knows? Humanity may evolve into something better, something worse. Who knows? Because me, I'm good at, you know, the joke of, hey, if I ever somehow, I wouldn't say blessed, because everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're so lucky to live till you're 100 years old. If I live to be 100 years old, I'm literally going to say out loud, no, it's just because God hates me and wishes to punish me every day, just to make sure he knows you're special in my heart of how much I fucking hate you. Because think, you know, 100 years old, you can't even do anything.
There are some people.
Okay, yes, but in that sense of, you've seen that joke of, you know, there are certain people throughout history who've seen the rise and fall of certain governments, certain things, have seen the bad, the good, and damn right, the sickening of humanity. And that joke of, yeah, like through both world wars, going into the third one but wasn't really a war, but more like you know, my dick's bigger than your dick, and then, you know, back and forth for like how long?
When did World War II end, and all the way up to the 80s?
Yeah, so
So give it about 40 years.
40 years of my dick's bigger than your dick, and you know, back and forth. And then you get to that point of where it's like,
You get to that point, you might as well deserve like 3 hots and a cot.
right, like, I'm sorry, and you're still alive at over the age of 100 after all of that. You cannot tell me God loves you and wishes you to have a long life.
Because that's bullshit. Like, I remember World War I starting with the military and fight. Then when World War II flipped around, I had a fight in it. Then I remember the Cold War, me still being in during the Cold War because they wouldn't let me retire yet. Then I remember, like, all the way up to the space age and it ending finally over the space
Watching them land on the moon.
And I watched Gorbachev tear down that wall speech. Then I had all this go on, and then I saw the rise of a country called. I watched America become great and bad. And then mediocre.
Hey, and guess what? I'm still goddamn all here. It's just like, yeah, at that point right there, that right there is what we like to call really shitty, because cannot tell me that you are, this is the greatest, when it's like, you could be, like, seen so much bad in everybody, but think he's also seen so much good.
What good?
Two world wars and a war of my dick is bigger than your dick. Back and forth for over 40 years, holding the world in on the precipice point of near nuclear annihilation. Then the only good that he maybe got to watch was the fucking space landing. That was the relief in his life, was watching humanity touch another freaking thing that used to be like that term of you looked up into the night sky and you stared at it and you go, ah, man, it'd be cool to go there one day.
See ya.
And you got to watch us do it.
He also watched the assassination of like 3 different presidents.
Oh, get it right. Way more than that. If think throughout the history. No, I was meaning of like, he lived through the possibility of other countries having their,
Here's the joke though, but he did get to live throughout all the good presidents.
Yeah. Hey, but still, that joke of being that old, yeah, no, you're not happy to be 100 years old. If you are, you're either crazy, or you just accept that life hates you and is wishing you to live to see everything it can before it sends you off. And now some people are reincarnation. If that is, hey, if you come back basically, eventually after so long you will return back to,
Hell no. Don't bring me back to this one.
Yeah, at that point, me, Frig, is there one that is like an anime, that you can send me to? Please, for the love of God.
I don't care about that. Just send me to like a weird, send me to fucking live in like the mountains of Mora, or like the fucking like the outskirts of fucking like Tamriel, or like
literally probably in a gaming world.
just throw me in like a fantasy universe, like a fantasy world.
Hey, but that joke of.
But by all means, do not throw me into fucking Final Fantasy. I don't want to live through a headache. Because then I'll have to navigate my way through different types of is this canon? Did this happen?
Keep it busy.
Is this real? Where am I?
But
Don't put me in
it's
Mass Effect. I don't want to be in the future. I don't want to know bullshit. Okay?
Hey, no, don't put me in the Mass Effect universe. Why? Because as soon as I, get there and I found out I was in that, I'm out of here. I'm disappearing from all of reality.
You know what? Throw me to fucking the Dungeons and Dragons universe. Throw me in that world. I'll be okay. Just throw me in. You can even throw me in like the bad parts of that map. You know what? No. Leave me shipwrecked on the end of on the edge of sword coast. Or put me in the fucking mines or the deep caverns or just throw me in the fucking Underdark. Just anywhere. I would enjoy being a slave to the fucking elves in the Underdark more than
Hey, okay, I somewhat agree. I somewhat stop and go, well, if you have all your knowledge, if you do, if you carry that over somehow, that's when it's I'd actually fear them if that happened, because they would think you're just some regular human, meanwhile you, slowly and surely, plotting the demise of them. One day it'll be like that joke, they'll have a grand celebration, all this stuff, and then you... and begin, and then the building falls down. All of a sudden, other things start going down, and then it's that joke of the rise begins.
They bring me that world this knowledge. They would end up seeing that one human that can speak Elvish. It's like what? You can speak our language? Yeah, I don't just speak common. You did. I speak Elvish, Dornish, Nordish. Also a little bit of Draconic.
What about what about demonic? Whoa, what am I?
I don't speak Abyssal. Unless do you have a book that has translation from Abyssal to common? Because I would do that. I would learn it.
But still,
Can you read does that mean the whole time you were sorting out our mail and everything, where we were discussing attacking places? Could you read that? Would you hate me less if I said no?
It looks like they...
Also, you had, misspellings, so I corrected it for you.
What? What the fuck? But, yeah, no, but see, you know, that joke of, 100 years would just suck. That's why it's like that joke. Some people, so why, but, okay, so you don't want to live, a long time. It's no, but I also do want to live. There's a difference. It's hey, if I checked out when I'm 80, I've lived a good life. If I checked out somewhere in my 90s, goddamn, I had a good life, and I also got to stick around and
if I
fucking
pass a fucking century, put me down.
Yeah.
Put me down.
Like
a rabid dog on the side of the street that just got hit by a car and still growling at the person that got out trying to see if it was okay. Put me down.
Okay.
Get me out of
Maybe
misery. Pull the plug. You know what? Fuck that. If I'm going to the hospital yet, just pull the trigger. God damn, put me out of my misery.
I'm sorry. I also look at it this way. I hold nothing but hey, I could write a book, share all my knowledge that I know. That is all I'm good for, is that knowledge, and that knowledge is now on paper. Here you go. Can I check out now, please? Because that's the only thing it is for 100 years.
Vote 50 years ago. Just
but that
check me out.
Oh, and now that we're on the topic of old, it's gonna sound horrible. And to me, well, no, it's not. It's actually not horrible. Do you believe that old people should get retested to drive?
Depends. This highly depends, okay? Because I know old people, I know some people that are really old that are still, perfectly coherent, good eyesight and everything.
No, I mean, even if they are that, they should come in and have just do your driving test, judged for all the things that you normally are. And either, hey, you can still drive, and here's your license and all that, and you're still good. Because wouldn't it help for the people who, that joke, you look, you're driving your car, you look over, and maybe you're a passenger or whatever, and you look over and you see grandma who's, she's hunched over, and it's how the hell are you seeing over the fucking dashboard? How do you see anything?
It's not even that.
And or they have the reaction time of a fucking snail.
I believe every human should get a retesting every 5 years. just it's not even due to age. Because you got those some people that get like so like used to driving that they end up like texting or driving, all that bullshit. It's like, dude, stop.
Yeah, me, I more go for the old because it's like I live in an area where it's like there's a lot of old, and like either there's two kinds of old that I know of. There's the old that are, you know, that choke reaction time. You could throw a ball at them, the ball will hit them and fall down before they even were like, oh my gosh, you know, and then they freak out, you know. Versus the guys who it's like, you know, you throw the ball, they somehow moved faster than the ball, going over 100 miles an hour. Okay, you could have fucking pitched that ball. They walked up to that ball in mid-flight, grabbed it, turned around, and are now serving it back to you 5 times the speed, because it's like, you know, that's the drivers I have, where it's like they're either so slow and dangerous, or they're so fast and dangerous. There's no middle ground. Unless, well, no. The middle ground is when they have the grandkids in the backseat. Then, for some reason, they're the best drivers you've ever seen in the world.
Overly cautious.
Overly cautious will drive the fucking speed limit, not maybe just five over. That is it. They will not go.
They'll drive the speed limit 5 over, or a little bit like, or like 3 to 5 under.
And, you know, and God forbid you cut them off, you are now the problem. But hey, but no, like, you are the problem of the universe, everything, you know. They're going to come after you for the joke, like how they go after, you know, try to think here. I was on the more than like how they go after goddamn well a beer after they go home. Because I'm sorry, if my grandparents were to be anything, it's like, you know, you could literally be having a family event, they're drinking. And like, this could be like something that does not involve like needing alcohol. They're getting pretty poo. Yeah, who am I kidding though? Who am I kidding? I drink when I meet my family, but that's because, well, it's the only way I get past hanging out with certain ones of them. It's pretty sad that it's like me. It's funny, my parents are always like, you know, oh, you should go and hang out with your grandparents, you know, they'll be like heading out there, and meanwhile me, I'm like, and do what? Like, I get, like, my grandparents are old and all that, but when I literally feel that joke of, like, I could hit pause on a movie, okay? And then come back to click play. That is exactly what I experienced at my grandparents'. And I'm not saying I like something new, it's more like, can we try, like, you know, doing something different? But that's why I always experience me. I'm like, I can't go over there, man, because I feel like the only thing that's exciting over there is that they got alcohol. And I don't want to be thinking of that as the only reason why I go and visit my grandparents.
At the same time.
And complain.
And then they complain about her. And then it's like, you guys are divorced, why do you live with each other? Because
that is how life be for them. Meanwhile, my grandparents, it's like, okay, they will. I can talk to my grandmother, and she'll actually somewhat stay interested. My grandfather, for one, I don't even think he likes me. Like, he's like, but that's because, I guess, to him, you gotta think, you know, I find it's an old man thing, where it's like, you know, Psycho will possibly have this too, where it's like, you know, your grandkids maybe, you know, if your grandson is not doing, you know, working how you worked when he was your age, you know, maybe he's taking it easier.
I don't want my kids or my grandkids to work how I work. I don't want this on my worst.
Yeah, no, but like in the sense of like, or you're not doing certain things, you know, like that they did at your age. So that's where, and that's my grandfather's, because he was different. You know, he came from that background of, you know, you know, men do all this type of stuff, and meanwhile, you know, for me it's like different things, and that's where I feel like we're like that continental drift apart. Two, he's one of those kind of people that's like, you could talk to him, okay, and have a full-fledged conversation, and then you have to make sure that he actually heard you, because for the longest time he didn't have hearing aids and he couldn't hear, even though, you know, it's one of those jokes of he now has hearing aids, and it's like the biggest problem for him is either trying to fix the settings so he can actually hear you, or telling you that you're being too loud. So I'm just, yeah, I'm waiting for that day to happen too, because then I'm just gonna be like, man, you know, anybody else will be like, you know, hey, you know, there's his hearing aids on. Me, I just assumed that he always had them off, you know, and even if he did have them in, because him, you know, like my father, technology is to an old person like well, it's this new age technology, just something so new, so advanced, so much. And meanwhile, for us, it's like it's not that advanced. Like, you guys talk of it like, you know, it's got to neurally connect to your brain, and then, you know, connect to your heartbeat, and then, you know, you gotta know how to use your brain to send the signal to. And it's like, no, it's all buttons. We're getting to the point where we're gonna be using our brain, but like they still need to figure out a lot of the human brain to get to that point. Like,
and technically people look down on video games. I do admit to that, but it's more as like, you can take a person that plays video games and then take a person that does not play video games. A person that plays video games actually has more, like, well, two things. They have quicker reaction times, plus also they actually have more brain power and use.
Okay, another thing we have is problem solving, because video games will throw, hey, you know, we're stuck in front of this like weird wall type of thing, right? It's got a bunch of, you know, it's like basically like a puzzle or something, or some problem that you need to figure out, like what goes and does this. And for some people, they almost have to look up a guide. And those are the people that, you know, those people don't take into what that game's trying to do. Trying to get you to use your brain, look around, think. There's always a way to get through stuff.
Hold on now. Here, we're talking about every single puzzle in video games. We got the puzzles like fucking, those puzzles in fucking, Shadow of War, which is like, okay, who actually came over this? This isn't a puzzle. This is random ass words thrown together.
Yeah, that's a little different. But I'm just meaning like in the sense of you're also like gotta look at it. I've seen a thing where there was a guy, he had brain damage. He, you know, he lost a lot of his, you know, means to actually understand and do a lot of things. And one thing that they could manage him to actually get to do was play video games. And they let him play them, like a few games, and, you know, this and that. He slowly and surely got back a lot of his cognitive functions through doing that, because, you know, and him doing certain things, and it basically stimulating the brain to, you know, do stuff. Because, you know, as much as people think, oh, you know, I'm just, you know, just moving my fingers and this and that, your brain is doing 5 million different things while you're playing a video game. Even if you're playing a shooter, sure, everybody thinks it's a mindless shooter. Your brain's still like, could it be? Depending on the shooter. Like if you're playing like a Battlefield thing, for instance. Oh yeah, but me it's more like, you know, the joke, looking at a bush. Could there be somebody in that bush? You know, I really gotta take a really good look over there, but I'm only gonna be able to take a look for only 2.5 seconds. Okay, I don't see anything. Okay, yeah, this, that, you know, and then, you know, all of a sudden, I hear a noise. Okay, is that friendly? You know, it's a lot of different things, but meanwhile, to you, it just seems normal. But meanwhile, your brain is doing 500 different things all at the same time.
Also, I have realized this, and this is in the study or not, is that kids that play video games have a higher vocabulary.
Well, yeah. Because...
a higher vocabulary and also a higher retention of detail. And also of things they learn. So it's like they pick up things easier.
Well, it's a joke. Like me, I remember somebody one time he forgot where something was, like like a location of an actual place.
Yeah.
And I literally, you know, looked at him and was like, you know, I started talking to him about the location, and I walked him to where he needed to go. And I had never been into that building. I just had seen it a few dozen times when walking past. But that's that joke of like how I can remember, like, you could take me and put me into a certain place, you know, like, hey, I drop you off, you know, in the middle of like this town right now. Can you find your way home? You know, since you've never been possibly out, you know, it's that joke. Yeah, as long if you make it to a certain place and, you know, certain things you'll remember, and then you'll just start walking that said direction eventually. You know, you're gonna hit certain other things and be like, okay, from that joke of that sign there, or that thing there, or you know, this thing over here. Okay, take it left, go up here. You know, let's see if that, you know, look over, see the huge water tower. Okay, yep, okay, keep going.
And why you can make fun of me for this? You know for a fact I am horrible with directions.
Yeah, I was about to state, you know, I'm talking to the guy who I have to lead home in the middle of Ark, and it's like, how the fuck do you remember where we are in the middle of a forest?
It's like, I know, here's the thing, I can remember exactly where we are if it's like to get out of like a forest area, or in games where it's like shooters or those big maps like Arma. I can navigate my way all the way back to a base from the middle of fucking God knows where. I can do that. But I cannot navigate back to a simple place. It's like, if you just need me to get you out of a place, I can do that. If you need me to tell you where something's at, I can do it. If you tell me to make it back home after like we went multiple different directions and like had to do different things and got chased around where I have not been paying attention to where we were going, I'll be like,
Yeah, and that's where he's like, it's gonna take me a few moments here. Meanwhile, that's why he turns to goes, Wyatt, let's see, pulls out map, let's see, we're here, okay, this way. and then, you know, as soon as I start seeing, like, hey, see that hill over there? Yep, we're getting close. We're fucking really close. It's just like, how the fuck do you remember that hill? It looks like every other hill that we've seen for the past little bit. Trust me, there's a special reason.
I think my worst moment at Ark was that I built a house next to 2 rock elementals.
Let's do this.
And I never knew there were rock elementals because I never went that way. So I was using the rock elementals as like a guide for where my house was without knowing there were rock elementals. And then I was like coming back to my house from that way, and they got up, and I was like, shit! There were rock elementals! And then when I had to kill both of them, I was like, okay, now what looks out of place?
And hey, meanwhile, me, I go, looks like that joke. It's just weirdly I can remember things like that because I might mark down details of the area, because for one, environments rarely change. It takes a lot to, you know, like that joke. hey, you know, some people, oh, but water towers or signs change. Yes, signs change, but that term of, but guess what? The signs change to a different sign, but that sign's location is still the same location, right? Yeah, I don't care about what the ad says. Is that this one particular billboard is here, and it could be in the middle of buck nowhere. But that's the best marker location I've ever had, because now it's like in the middle of nowhere. Let's look for this one, you know, weird advertisement out in the middle of nowhere, and keep walking. Like, for instance, best example for it. There's actually a famous trail back. It's over like in India or something that goes through the freaking desert. It's an old trade. It used to be for traders back in the day. That's how they figured their way back and forth, you know, to go from towns to towns, right?
So, bro.
The only thing that kept you from getting lost was in the middle of this fucking desert. There was a tree, a singular tree, on the middle of nowhere.
What would they do with that tree?
Oh, do you want to know what happened? That did happen. Somebody hit it with a car. I know. How the fuck do you hit the only tree in the middle of fucking nowhere?
Hey,
And
there's a will, there's a way.
I literally was like, man, that man probably should have died. Like, I wonder, you know, how bad the car accident was when you fucking managed to hit the singular tree in the middle of nowhere and bring it down. But that joke of, even if that does happen though, something changes the environment, changes your direction. That was such a needed thing for so many people that they had to turn around and make a new structure out there just to help with that. It was literally I think it was like a metal pole, or some pole in the ground now, and they had to literally put it out through everywhere. Like, you know, that term, god damn it, the fucking mice, people, the goddamn cockroaches knew about this fucking change, okay? Because, you know, humanity had screwed up and taken out a natural thing that was a guide to so many different people. It's pretty sad that, you know, that I can put to to real life. It's like things that you will jokingly be like, oh, I don't use my memory to remember my way home. I just know it. That's your fucking memory. So you remembering, you know, oh, you know, Davis Drive is something I gotta go down, and then when I hit the end of Davis Drive, I gotta turn right onto Ernsdale Street, because, you know.
But why can I also say this? I make jokes about how, yeah, I'm not gonna memorize where I'm moving to go in a video game when I have to memorize everything else.
Yeah, that's that joke of, that's why it's also good to game with other people, because it's like, he can think of everything, like a bunch of other things, and meanwhile, he's like, and navigation, I'm gonna leave to Wyatt.
It's like, give me a video game, I'll memorize how to do the smallest shit. It's like, yeah, you do, and that's how you do this.
Yeah, and then, but it's that joke of, but meanwhile, you know, and everybody else thinking like he's the master of, like, you know, this is that, and, you know, hey, no, but that's that joke. We go out and do that arc thing where, you know, now we're in the middle of buck nowhere and you can't remember where the fuck to go. That's that joke of. Yeah, and it's like, meanwhile, in that joke of me pulls up map, and we'll walk in a set direction.
The stupid part about that, though, is like, also in the same streams, you have me list off, like, the exact materials needed for different stuff.
Yeah, but that's a joke of, and meanwhile me, what's another skill I'm good for? If it's entertaining enough, or dangerous sometimes enough, I'll join. But there has to be, and I state this, there has to be a higher probability that we're not going to get ourselves killed, because, you know, in real life, you know, you telling me, like, you know, hey man, listen, okay? There's a. Oh yeah, no, but it's like, that's what I mean is, for you, it's like, hey, he'll do stupid shit and get out without dying or certain things. Meanwhile, it's like, hey, if you were like real life, like, hey, so hear me out. We're gonna go in and we're gonna steal some dragon eggs, okay? Because they're very highly valuable. I'm probably going to tell you you're insane, and that I'm not going a fucking foot near that, or anywhere near that.
I won't just be like, hey, we're gonna go steal it. Hey, I'm gonna go steal it on foot.
Yeah, he's gonna go in there quietly on foot, stealth into the nest, and take an egg, and then not get noticed, possibly. You know, in real life, you know, it depends. Also, the fact of how fast can you run?
Do you trust me enough to be a decoy?
But that joke of, hey, but hey, aside from that, hey, can I remember my way back if, like, we were, you know, he wanted me to be that guy who he would run back all the way out of the cave, you know, they didn't realize, hand off the egg to me, and then go back in? Sure. Because I know that I'm probably going to be the guy who's like, okay, what? That's all I'm gathering? Let's get the hell out of here.
Bye-bye.
You know, it shows us take that little stroll down and out, but meanwhile, it's like, but video games, you had also the fact of, you allow you to respawn. Real life? Motherfucking dragon finds out you stole its eggs and is now that, you know, it's gonna burn down this entire forest just to find us. Little different, because there is no respawning on for us.
See ya.
So, but, yeah. Video games are a great thing, and hell, like, I've heard many people, I think another great one. Guy was flying with his buddy, okay? His buddy had went through, got his pilot license, everything, right? They're in the middle of flying, and something happened with his buddy. His buddy had a medical emergency, okay? Mid-flight, and he's the pilot. This guy was somewhat freaking the fuck out, but I don't blame him, you know. I would be too. But he kept calm, because once he got behind the, like, he took the pilot out of the seat, he got into the comms and told the tower, the news that no tower person ever wants to hear, that the pilot is having an issue and I have no flight experience. Okay. Most of them are... Yes, as soon as they hear that, it's like that term, they're almost like calling over everybody, hey, go and get, go down to the guys on the airfield and see if any of them are instructors to come here and I need some help with this one, okay? It's like, but he started looking at it, and the guy, I remember he was like, he started, yeah, they were doing that, but it was also that fact of, once he started, he calmed down and realized that this is very much like the flight simulators and all that he used to play. Like, it seems very accurate. And I'm not shitting you. They were watching him fly, and he was doing it perfectly. They told, which runway, where to go. He came down, once he got to a certain height, slowed down, and literally they sat there and were amazed at how a guy who has no flight experience, should not be flying a plane, has, like, anything like that, perfectly landed the plane. It was the softest landing I think they've ever seen. And they were like, what?
I mean, I do have over, like, 14,000 hours of flight simulators.
And it's just an amazing, astonishing thing to think, like, that joke, so, hey, I'm not saying, oh, you played a video game like GTA and now you can be a pilot. Fuck no, you're not a pilot if you play GTA and think that you can be a pilot. Can you do any of this? You know any of these switches in here? No? Then don't fucking try it. But just hearing that was like amazing to hear. It's like, Jesus, Huh. More, hey, another kind of a tragic one was guy was, he, you know, just wanted to, how we say it, he wanted to test the theory of if respawning was is possible for humanity. Was he and he got into the plane and they were trying to talk him down, but the things that they were stating were more like, Jesus, you are a good pilot. Even though this guy had no flight experience, but because he played simulations, he was flying and doing barrel rolls, doing stunts, and they're sitting there like, the fuck is this? You know, like, what? Like, and having to compliment him on the facts of most beginners would fear doing half the shit he's doing, and meanwhile here he is, like an average pro, you know, World War II fighter pilot. You know, as soon as he gets the feel for the plane underneath him, okay, now let's see what you can do, and then they start doing some, you know, maneuvers, right?
Is G-Force supposed to feel like I'm getting punched in the gut 17 times in a row? Yeah. Okay, I was just wondering.
Like, and it's one of those things, though. It's like, hey, sadly, you know, they couldn't get him to, you know, not test the theory of respawning, but
That's one way of phrasing crap.
I didn't want to say the words because I don't know if I'm overstepping it on here. It's just.
It's fine. It's already almost 3 hours into the stream. I just say it like, dude, that's one hell of a way to put it. It crashed and died. And wanted to see if respawning was real.
But they were just astonished at the fact of this guy was flying perfectly, and I think that's the biggest fear for them is like.
The only thing I imagine is like when the stupid gamer goes to war, he looks over to his platoon commander. Yeah, sorry man, I have to change my loadout.
Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! No!
That's the only thing that came to my mind. Like,
the guys that he ate. No! But
wait,
what?
What did you forget?
Wait! No!
What did you want us to have it?
But,
I forgot my 4x ACOG and I forgot the high-powered rounds.
Hey, but that joke, you know,
You know what?
you have.
Go ahead. Get your new loadout.
I can't wait for the day. And I'm not saying this like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. Like, oh no, like it's more of that. I can't wait for the day of just hearing this most stupidest shit possible and being like, you know, an airliner was saved today by a video gamer, you know, and it shows like, you know, 200 or 400 people were on this fucking plane, and you know, both pilots somehow either were taken out, something happened to them, and you know that term of, oh my gosh, both pilots, you know, so like, does anybody know how to fly? And the gamer stands up, you know, because the flight sims, and you know he sits down, starts flying the plane accurate, and lands the equivalent of an airliner onto the runway in the midst of this emergency, and
You have that,
and nobody dies. None.
Of over 10,000 hours in a flight sim.
Yeah, everybody else is losing their freaking mind, and here's this guy, you know, that joke. Anybody who's coming up with him, like the flight attendants, are gonna be like, so what training do you have for this? I've done a couple thousand, so many thousand hours into a flight simulator.
I also have like
Damn, oh my gosh. But then afterwards, you know, after he lands, and it's like softest landing they've ever had themselves. It's they landed, they turn off the engines, and you know, you hear the over the radio, ladies and gentlemen, this is your cop speaking.
No, you have over the radio.
We're here.
Can this count as my real life flight hours?
Hey, but that joke of, hey, only thing I imagine is like any gamer.
You have the flight trainer like in the control room being like, yeah, just meet me after this. I'll sign off on the paper.
But only thing I can imagine is that any gamer, ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We have made it to our destination after our brief in-flight entertainment time.
How would you rate your flight with us today?
Please do feel free to tell me how your flight was and how the landing went. I very much would love to know. And you all have a beautiful and safe day. God be with you.
And this is Average Joe 9000 speaking.
Yeah, it's just like, and meanwhile, this man is going to be the most popular man in the world.
This is Average Joe 9000 speaking. Do you know what's funny? I would be a good gamer tag. Average Joe 9000. This is Average Joe 9000's talking. How's my fellow Average Joes?
But that joke.
I come to you from a Motorola that I use in the trap, and I'm speaking to you. Now today due to inconveniences, because their Average Joe lives to be threatened. But don't worry. I pulled the ultimate Average Joe to cover everybody else's Average Joe.
Hey, because I'm sorry.
Now,
Alright.
for president, Average Joe.
I just love, like, it's pretty accurate to how it is with, like, you know, oh my gosh, that would be fucking hilarious to hear, because it's just like, man, to the next person who ever tells me video games are nothing but gonna rot your mind, I'm gonna be like, hey, that's what I'm gonna turn out to be. If it wasn't for video games, over this many people would died in a plane crash because both pilots were taken out. Do you want to say that again?
This one video gamer did not just pilot a plane to safety, but also took over every single one of the hijackers.
Now that point, I don't know. At that point, don't know. If it was more like, hey, the pilot, something happened, you know, maybe it's...
Just imagine if that's what happened. The plane got hijacked,
Explode.
every single one of the hijackers, and flew the plane, and landed it safely.
How did you manage this? Well, I play a lot of military shooters for one, so like I just treat it as I have to keep quiet. I have to take them down one by one without them knowing. It was very sketchy for some of it. I luckily had some help from some of the passengers.
I had a lot of fun, sir. Can I do that again?
Oh, that's something that he would never he would never say on international television. The words that you would never hear from a man. It's like
But
you
know he's thinking it.
No, in his mind.
I'll do that again.
No, come on. For real gamer retrospect. Is there an achievement for this? And two,
Pass platinum.
hey, yeah, pass platinum, and two, hey, ladies.
Oh, he's getting laid afterwards. That's like every single one of the girls that have like the hero complex.
Mhm.
Be with the hero. Oh,
The
yeah,
joke.
He's getting something afterwards.
Hey, and the joke to a lot of people. Not all heroes wear capes, and not all heroes also sit and have to be there in physical person. Because look at drone pilots, certain things, right? Could save your life. A drone strike in the middle of the military. Now a drone hits and kills,
But it might also
hits the
kill
target that was pinning you down. No, but kills the target that was pinning you down with machine gun fire. They blew up the building, took out the guy, and you get to go home. The hero. You will never possibly get to meet him, but if you did, you'd possibly be like, man, do you want beer? Do you want anything? Like, I owe you for saving my life. Not all heroes wear capes. Sometimes they're just those guys who are flying the really cool, expensive things that can see you, and you can't see them. And you don't want to see them, because if you see them, it usually means you're the target. But, yeah, hey, another great joke is video games. I've heard people, recently there was a plane crash, like not too long ago, and a bunch of kids had, survived the crash. All the parents had died. So all the adults dead, bunch of kids. To anybody who knows survival, those kids have now, including they landed in the jungles of some country, so yeah.
We're bringing to life actual, what is that book?
Green Hell?
Not Green Hell, not the book about the show that led to a crash. I referenced it a lot. Let's see here. One of the kids, Piggy, was killed by the other kids. It was wrote by a World War II vet.
Don't know it. I don't know it. But, I laughed though, okay?
It's Lord of the Flies, dude.
Ah.
I was talking about Lord of the Flies.
I honestly haven't.
World War II vet.
But,
It's about kids that lived through a plane crash where all the adults died and then they're building their own civilization, the fucking woods and everything. They ended up having their own factions that got formed afterwards, and a few of the kids got killed by the other kids in the nature of survival and everything. They did get saved at the end of it, but it was just a telling that, like, it's a telling about...
they did get saved, but, then, the kids who committed murder were thrown in jail because they're literal psychopaths who,
That's not into things, like, but in the book it's basically his way of saying all humans are born evil. Was what he was
Oh, yeah.
into on that point in the book. I referenced that book a lot because it was a good book.
But,
A lot of people don't like that book, but it's one of my better because the reason why people don't like it is because you would hope that in every human's mind and heart, we hope that you would not see this division where people would actually come together, want to, hey, let's stay together, survive, thrive, and hopefully overcome. That's how it was in the beginning of the book. It's like,
But then it's that we all know that there's other people who, there's going to be some people who want to be the leader, right? Their word is above everybody else's. And to that point is immediately the problem is that we as a species always want somebody to guide us. But, and it's true, hey, I get it, that sense of, relying on somebody. So if if you, hey, that didn't work, what should I do? Instead of it falling onto you, it falls on somebody else's shoulders, right?
yeah.
But it's also the problem of, so you're gonna have a lot of people want the leader position.
Also, I will say this: my favorite character was Piggy in that book. Piggy.
Why? What was Piggy trying to keep the peace?
He was just a good character. He was the fat kid that was bullied a lot, intelligent, but didn't want to show it. He did like a lot of the jobs that nobody else wanted to do. He was like the all-around the book made you care about Piggy.
Hey, if this was a real person, Piggy got isekai'd, okay? For the bad that happened to him, he got isekai'd, okay? He probably got thrown into his own thing where he's the main hero now, okay? But, but that's a fictional character.
Then like the book, it's kind of funny because like they kill, when Piggy dies, it's like you have some people, it's like, where's Piggy? It's like, it's like, there's people that actually cared about him, like, it's like, bro, I like Piggy. He was a good character, why?
But
And it's bad, when you can ask me about that book, I can tell you about the book. Piggy's the only character I can still call the name of. Because it's like, he was my favorite character from the book.
But it's, that thing of, you look at that though, and it's like, but like I was saying, everybody will want, like a lot of people will want to be the leader, right?
Yeah.
Because being the leader means that you got the voice over everybody. Your decision will be more heavier to be on the thing than anybody else's. And to some people, hey, whatever. To others, not so much. They want their words to be heard and spoken, this and that. Also, another weird thing is, my joke is, I am 6'4", and I would fear to be in this position of, like what you're saying, because if I survive, and I'm perfectly okay, I'm horrifiedly thinking, like, please, for the love of God, don't follow the association people of what most humans do, because it's literally been a historical thing where, well, he's bigger than us, he's taller than us, maybe he should be the leader. Because that is a thing.
I can just imagine if that happened, and me and you were together, you would just look at me and be like, Cody, how the fuck do we get out of this?
I don't want to be leadership, because at me it's like...
Blood on my head holding it's like...
No, you'll have that anime moment where, you possibly are, like, dying, it shows, like, your soul leaving your body, I'm gonna grab your soul, oh, like hell you are! You, just let me go! No!
We need to get out of this place!
I can't be the leader? Fuck no! Hey, me, I can't be the leader? Fuck no!
Me. Alright. We'll make a bet, okay? I'll give you guys food, I'll give you guys water, and I'll give you guys a shelter. After that, don't ask me for anything, let me just go to sleep.
But, like, me,
I'm getting out of here. Fuck that, man. I ain't dealing with this bullshit.
But, yeah, but getting back onto the topic of these kids survived through the survival games that they played. Like Green Hell. Yeah, and they do. It's like one of those hilarious jokes where you get to realize these kids survived basically through the knowledge of video games.
Yeah. You see, more realistic a video game is, the better it is, in my opinion. Because it actually teaches you shit. Without making you think that you're learning shit.
Well, yeah, it's learning, but fun. Like, that's that point of, if we were to evolve technology to be like, the joke deep dive type of stuff,
yeah.
Education will be now fun. Because instead of me being like, okay, class, open your book to page 100, 120, okay, and...
But yet the kids don't know they're doing math.
Yeah.
But yet they're doing math that's more advanced than what they should be doing.
Yeah. And it's that joke of, but here's the problem is, then you try to get them to do simple math, and to them they don't want to do it because the complex math is easier for them, or it's more fun.
And the problem is that, like, you keep trying to teach kids math, but make it problems that they don't do. You could literally do math, but make it like, so this gives you 10% more of 148, and this gives you a 0.2 or a 0.2 bonus to this. What would your health stat be afterwards?
Yeah, and it's things like that me couldn't tell you. My joke, it'll be higher. Because for me, I don't know the math equivalent to that, because I'm like, I never was into that kind of math, because again, I never saw myself as building rockets or anything like that.
It's not that, I'm just saying, like, I know kids that can do that, but yet you give them like plus 5 times 5 plus 5, and they're like, huh?
Run like the wind.
Me, I'm a person who,
and then your is 30. Oh, okay, okay, now let me rephrase it. Oh, I won't tell
okay.
you. Like, okay, let me rephrase it, okay? You have Your attack power is 5. Okay? You put on a ring that increases your power by 5 times. And then you have a chest piece that increases your attack power by 5. What's your attack power? What's your 30?
Oh yeah, I get what you're meaning. But me, I'm sitting there. What I was about to state is, but hey, some people, and now this is to the grand public. If you ask a question, okay, not everybody is a super fucking computer, okay, who can figure it out and just say 30. Some people, you throw a problem at them, their brain goes, hold on, wait, let's just make sure, and then they need to sit there and do the fingers, sit there for a moment, and then they'll tell you the answer, and it could be correct. I had a person one time, oh, he asked me a question like this, and I got kind of confused because it was like, when you throw numbers and times and this and that, your brain will sometimes be like, whoa, hold on, I gotta slow down because I don't want to say the wrong number here.
Like,
and he meanwhile was basically saying that I'm a lower intelligence person. But meanwhile, it's like it takes lower intelligence to accuse somebody of that, because yeah, you're smart. Like you can figure out it's 30 right off the hop. That's great for you. I can also figure out other things. We're all built differently, but all run the same in the sense. So you get that?
Yeah, I understand that. But I'm saying
So,
like, the best thing that ever happened to math is that instead of doing like general problems, they started doing problems using money. There's more in my opinion. It's like more kids understand the reference to money than just give them money.
so if I give you 4 quarters, how much money do you got? Yeah, no, but you say that to some people who've never heard of a quarter, and they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is a quarter? What's the value of it?"
But it's kind of funny. It's like you have $3.25.
Oh,
This costs 75 cents.
so I think there's a new currency coming to Canada.
How much money does he owe you? Or how much money do you have? Well, let's see here. You still have $3.25. I just paid out 75 cents. So $3.50 afterwards. He owes me $5. He doesn't pay me back yet. He needs to pay me back.
He needs to pay me back, because if it takes over a month for him to pay me back, it's going to be fucking $10, okay? With that compound interest,
No, that's like when the teacher's like, no, the answer is $7.50. You said he owes me $5. He's paying me back. Okay, he pays you back. Okay, now $7.50.
but,
Kid, what the hell are you? Hey. Don't fuck with my money.
yeah, that's true. Like, I'm sorry, the one thing that you never fuck around with people nowadays is money. Because, why? People are willing to kill people for it, so don't fuck around and find out.
Oh no, you don't!
But, it's one of those things where it's a joke, you could teach people very easily if we made what you're deep diving what you're stating. Hey, so if I do all these percentages, you could have people who highly advanced in math, and meanwhile for them they were just playing a video game. So they're like, when are you gonna actually start teaching us?
Yeah.
See what I mean? See that joke of they won't even realize it. They'll just be like, you could.
Realize they're doing math and video games to begin with.
Yeah. Hey, me. I look at it this way. I didn't get. Okay.
23 thunder damage. I have thunder damage 3. That's an increase of 5% of 23. Plus also gives me plus 6 thunder damage on top of that. How much thunder damage are you now?
See, meanwhile, me, I'm almost that joke of, because of how I have a learning disability and certain other things, so I sit back and I go, I'm a bit different in the sense of, hey, so if I add, 10% onto what you have now, it's more than what I got now. I'm not going to sit here and fucking try to figure out that high advanced math of a percentage, because it's like, I've tried that before and got and somebody called me a retard, and I was like, thanks for, you know, not knowing that somebody doesn't know the percentage for that type of shit.
See ya.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why it's like, hey, not everybody, you know, because that joke, well, you know, what's the percentage, you know, valued for? Is it like every one?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, hey, but that joke, or are you meaning like, you know, is this like, you know, there's many different ways for me, my brain doesn't, you know, doesn't associate right away.
Percentages is grab the number that you originally get, divided by 100, that's the individual percentage.
Yeah, but meanwhile, you know, but me, hey, but my what I said is also technically not wrong. You know, it's more than what I have now.
It's actually pretty easy to do because all you do is put a decimal point so it's like, I have 23, I have 23 thunder, I'm gonna do thunder damage right? I have 23 thunder damage, right? So 100% of that would be 23, right?
Mm-hmm.
Each individual percent of it is 0.23.
Yeah, but it's like, for me, it was like, I just had somebody, like, basically, you know, one of those arrogant people who know math and think, like, you know, they're so intelligent, and it's like, that joke. For one, don't always think that you're the most intelligent person in the room, because if you're willing to say that this person's a retard, well then, who's the real retard when you find out later when that person, like, you know, your buddy, wait, you called that person, you do realize that person has special needs, right? And that isn't on the same level as us. Now who stands here looking like a complete asshole? Because you just made fun of basically the person who's like, you know, not like you.
Yeah.
But here you are willing to call them a retard. You should check yourself before you wreck yourself, because our world will wreck you one day. And the joke will be, and guess what? The person who probably will wreck you could be retarded, and that'll be a sad day in hell for some people, eh?
Yeah.
But and I use that word, but in the sense of being like, you know, hey, you know, it's just one of those, you know, damn, I got proven wrong by somebody who has autism. It's like, what? But yeah, math can be interesting. History, well, okay. Here's the thing that I've learned from history: it is boring.
Yeah.
But it's boring because of one thing. I could sit here and tell you, Psycho, of how the Romans built their mighty empire, and how they built, you know, Rome, and how they conquered places, and how this and that. But it's all in books. And it's all, you know. Imagine getting to sit back and, you know, that joke, you load up a thing of a deep dive, and like, maybe you guys aren't in the battle, but you're doing the, you know, you're off on the sideline spectating, right?
Yeah.
And you're watching, like, you know, it's this year of, you know, this in the AD of, you know, the empire of, you know, or the king of whoever is challenging this, you know, and blah blah blah, and you get to.
Well, you're talking about Roman, that would be BC.
But you get what I mean. It's AD, anything, just any event, you could turn around and be like, here's what it looked like.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be AD for the Romans. It would be BC.
Like, to the term, you know.
The Romans went up to the AD, but their actual conquest took place.
Yeah, eventually it'll be that term of, for some kids, D-Day. And, you know, for some of them, they'll be like, D-Day, what, Dick Day? You know, and then it's like, you know, then they get to watch, you know, the day that, well, let's just put in sadness, to put in, you know, full everything. The American president at that current time had already a letter ready for these, for everybody in America.
Every single soldier had a letter of condolence written.
No, it wasn't even condolence. He had an entire speech ready to go for when this failed, because U.S. planners had.
There was a speech given if it failed, but there was also every single letter of condolence for every single soldier that was sent out, already pre-written, and already ready to be sent to the families. There was
Ben-
multiple different contingencies. They literally thought we were not going to
So for one, putting that into perspective, showing, and then shows what the D-Day pertained to. There are going to be kids who are imagine watching it, you know, because us as gamers, we almost go null to that, right? We know that this is hell, that joke. But if we were playing a video game, it's that joke, you know, we're gonna climb this hill and we're gonna get those motherfuckers. Okay?
realistic. If they can make Deep Dive really realistic, it would literally